Chapter 29-30. Awakening Dragon Palace. Outside the tree hole, the magnates' faces were solemn. They were helpless and could only watch as Lin Ling did whatever he wanted. This brat. The third prince's face was solemn. He didn't expect Lin Ling to become so powerful after the trip to the Eight Gods' heavenly palace. He was about to reach the pinnacle of the Green State's pyramid. This is his full strength. Among the crowd, a muscular man was trembling. He was the great ape of Yi. Not long ago, he was sent flying by Lin Ling with a single punch. At that time, he said that he didn't use his full strength. But now, he realized that even if he used his full strength, he would still be suppressed by Lin Ling. And Lin Ling had already obtained the Emperor's Fate's essence. Sakura immediately said, "Second brother, use it." Lin Ling's Emperor's Fate was already very close to the Azure Thearka's Jade Seal. If he used the Emperor's Fate's essence, he might be able to obtain the Azure Thearka's Jade Seal. However, Lin Ling shook his head, "I am not interested in the Azure Thearka's throne." When such words came out, everyone's jaws dropped. They were so angry that their teeth were itching. The Emperor's Fate was the power that the Green State's cultivators yearned for the most. Lin Ling was so close to that power, yet he wasn't interested. Moreover, if he wasn't interested, why didn't he give it to others? Bastard! The 99th prince couldn't help but curse. The third prince smiled. Lin Ling didn't want the treasure, but she wanted it. She planned to use other treasures to exchange with Lin Ling. Second brother, why? Sakura was puzzled. Because my goal is the 9 prefectures' emperor. Lin Ling chuckled. His words silenced the crowd. They didn't expect Lin Ling's ambition to be so great. He didn't care about the Azure Thearka's throne and had set his sights on the 9 prefectures' emperor. The 9 prefectures' emperor, this was a divine position that no one dared to think about. They wanted to say that Lin Ling was dreaming, but they felt that it wasn't convincing because they had all witnessed Lin Ling's strength. At this moment, the silver light of the flower bud dispersed completely, and at the same time, an ancient divine diagram floated down. The divine map was made of sheepskin and was extremely ancient. However, since it could be placed in the flower bud, it was obviously something that ancient martial artists valued greatly. Lin Ling took the sheepskin and opened it. He couldn't help but smile, "Map of the Dragon Palace." As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of everyone outside and inside the tree hole changed. Dragon Palace? Could the Dragon Palace of the 8 Gods' heavenly palace be the Dragon God Palace of the 8 Gods in the past? The Dragon God was a divine being that was above the ancestral dragon. In terms of life, it was even higher than the ancestral dragon, the universal dragon, the 9 continents dragon, and the myriad world dragon. At the same time, after the silver light of the flower bud poured out, the silver light outside the divine tree also gradually dispersed like mercury flowing down the ground. The magnates were allowed to enter, but none of them dared to act recklessly. Lin Ling, give me the map of Dragon Palace. The 76th prince was the first to speak. Now that the essence of the emperor's life was taken by the third prince, they didn't want to fight for it anymore. However, the map of Dragon Palace was no small matter. Lin Ling was still looking at the map of Dragon Palace, and a familiar smile appeared on his face. This was because Li Xiaoyao had been looking for this Dragon Palace in his previous life. It was hidden in the 4th floor, but he couldn't find it in the end. This led him to go to the 5th floor. Give him 3 slaps and I'll tell you what this map is. Lin Ling was still looking at the map as he muttered to himself. As soon as these words were spoken, the magnates frowned and looked at the 76th prince with evil intentions. What are you guys trying to do? The 76th prince reacted with a furious expression because the 99th prince, the minister of the left, and other experts were staring at him. Weren't these people enemies with Lin Ling? 76th prince, I'm sorry. The 99th prince took a step forward and 3 crisp slaps landed on the 76th prince's face. The 76th prince caressed his face. He was so angry that he couldn't speak, but he didn't dare to provoke Lin Ling anymore. This is the resuscitating dragon palace, one of the 49 dragon gods under the 8 gods. Hearing the crisp sound of the slap, Lin Ling spoke slowly. Hearing this, everyone's breathing quickened. There were probably more treasures in this dragon palace. Inside is the desolate body's great Tao body, passed down from the universe to the era of the gods. There are also many 8th grade martial arts, many heavenly treasures, and the essence of the emperor's life. Of course, there are also precious dragon souls. Those who obtain the dragon souls will possess the bloodline of the dragon gods. Lin Ling spoke again. Every word he said made everyone's heart skip a beat. The existence of the desolate body could be traced back to the era of the gods. Thinking about it, Lin Ling's powerful talent was a 10th grade divine body, and he was able to suppress everyone with this talent. As for the desolate body, there were less than 10 people in Qingzhou who had the desolate body. And this was only an estimate. There were probably only 5 people. As for 8th grade martial arts, one could cultivate the power of the universe, which was even more powerful. It was a divine art that ordinary warriors could only dream of. There was also the essence of the emperor's life. Previously, just the essence of the emperor's life was enough for them to fight over it. What if there were multiple essences in the dragon palace? As for the dragon souls, there was no need to talk about them. They had only heard of it in legends. Even if they obtained the dragon souls, they wouldn't use them. All of these showed how precious the dragon palace was. Lin Ling, hand over the map. The 99th prince suppressed the excitement in his heart and said coldly. He he. Lin Ling smiled calmly. Flames appeared in his palm and burned the map to ashes. Sorry, my hand got a little hot, so I burned the map. When Lin Ling's voice drifted out, all the experts were stunned. Their breathing quickened, and some of the older ancient martial artists were so angry that they couldn't breathe. You are courting death. The left prime minister couldn't help but roar. He no longer looked as gentle as before. Although the map was burned, I still remember it. So, if you want to find the resuscitating dragon palace, you have to hand over some treasures. Lin Ling ignored the left prime minister's anger and said with a smile. He looked like an unscrupulous merchant. The magnates gritted their teeth in anger. It turned out that Lin Ling had done it on purpose. He had destroyed the map in order to blackmail them. Lin Ling, you are making a deal with the king of hell. The prime minister, who had been silent all this while, finally spoke. Threatening me? To put it bluntly, even if you are the king of hell, I don't care. Lin Ling shrugged nonchalantly and said with a smile, are you going to give up the dragon palace or hand over the treasures? I have 10,000 royal crystals here. Is that enough? Hearing this, the 99th prince said angrily. He had never expected that as the leader of the magnates and the son of Emperor Qing, he would one day have to lower his voice to Lin Ling. It's enough. It's enough. Lin Ling's smile became even more charming. A royal crystal was more precious than a divine crystal. 10,000 royal crystals was a huge sum of money. It was enough for him to break through his third dantian. Lin Ling also knew that although he was famous in Qingzhou, there were many people who were stronger than him. For example, Tian Ling, who was a middle-stage martial celestial, was not someone he could fight against. Chapter 29-31. I don't think you are a good person. I have a piece of divine tumor cloth. I got it from the 8 gods' heavenly palace. It is an ancient martial artist's robe. It has a large amount of ancient martial arts recorded in it. It can help you comprehend the power of the universe. Take it. The Prime Minister took out an ordinary cloth and threw it to Lin Ling reluctantly. My lord, this is a great treasure. The people from the Prime Minister's residence shouted. The Prime Minister did not get many treasures from the 8 gods' heavenly palace, but this divine tumor cloth was a treasure that all the magnates coveted. For this treasure, the Prime Minister's residence suffered a great loss. But now, Lin Ling got it. This meant that their efforts were in vain. Thank you. Lin Ling could see that the treasure was extraordinary. No need. The Prime Minister said politely. But in his heart, he was cursing. Lin Ling looked at the Prime Minister and said with a smile, Prime Minister, they gave me such precious treasures. You won't give me some trash, right? I have many treasures. Take your pick. The Prime Minister said indifferently. He took out a large amount of treasures. Wow, a supreme weapon. The aura of that hammer is very sharp. It must be a powerful supreme weapon. Tiansong bone ashes. Legend has it that the bone ashes of a person who cultivated the Tiansong Great Ring technique can help a martial artist reach the martial immortal realm in an instant. High rank 7 cultivation technique. That red cultivation technique is a fire attribute martial art. Everyone exclaimed. The Prime Minister was very low-key, but they did not expect him to have so many treasures. Lin Ling, Tiansong bone ashes are very good. If your friend has not reached the martial immortal realm, he can devour the bone ashes and step into the martial immortal realm in a year. Also, you are a fire attribute martial artist. That fire attribute martial art is very suitable for you. The Prime Minister looked at Lin Ling and said, but there are so many treasures. You can only choose one. Without a doubt, the treasures that the Prime Minister valued were all priceless. But he took the initiative to recommend them to Lin Ling. There must be something fishy about this. Lin Lingyun smiled faintly. The heavenly pine bone ashes were indeed very good. However, after the devourer became a martial immortal, they could only train in the heavenly pine great ring technique. This heavenly pine great ring technique was very ordinary and could even be called trash. It was completely useless to Lin Ling. Only those mortals who would never be able to reach the martial immortal realm in their entire lives would be tempted by this treasure. As for the fire elemental cultivation technique, Lin Ling also shook his head because he saw an even better treasure. I want this. Lin Ling stretched out his hand, which made the Prime Minister secretly smile. That was a 7th grade fire attribute cultivation method. Although it was precious, at least he would not feel heartache. However, Lin Ling's hand quickly changed. He suddenly held an ordinary stone in his hand. The Prime Minister's expression changed drastically as he shouted, Lin Ling, that stupid rock is useless against you. He had scattered countless treasures, but who knew that Lin Ling would choose that treasure of all things? That treasure looked ordinary, but it was actually the most precious treasure among all the treasures. That was the essence of the World Mountain. According to legend, it was the essence of the World Mountain that was formed after a long period of time. Although it looked like a fist-sized stone, it actually suppressed countless mountains in the World Mountain. If such a treasure was used to refine weapons, it would definitely be an invincible existence. If it was used to assist one's cultivation, it would definitely increase one's cultivation speed by 3 times. It could be said that the Prime Minister's entire body was a treasure. I like to take people by surprise. I don't want good treasures. I like stupid rocks the most. Lin Ling kept the treasure with a smile. The Prime Minister's heart was bleeding. He did not expect Lin Ling's eyes to be so sharp. He had seen that treasure in the history of Qing province, so he had an impression of it. How could a young boy like Lin Ling be more knowledgeable than him? Although the others did not know what treasure Lin Ling had taken, they could see from the Prime Minister's expression that Lin Ling had taken a precious treasure. What a despicable guy. All the magnates cursed in their hearts. Alright, 3 days later, I will bring all of you to the Awakening Dragon Palace. Lin Ling kept the essence of the World Mountain and turned to leave. The people of the imperial court followed him. Among them, the third prince was undoubtedly in a good mood. She had fought with the magnates for many years and had always been on par with them. She never expected that Lin Ling would be able to suppress the founding elders of Qing province. Second brother, this is great. Sakura followed Lin Ling and kept laughing heartily. Meng Lu felt like he was dreaming. Lin Ling still failed to break through. He recalled the sympathy he had for Lin Ling on the third level and couldn't help but smile bitterly. Such a ferocious Lin Ling still needed his help. This made him embarrassed to see Lin Ling. Last time, I had a feeling that if Lin Ling really succeeded in breaking through, he would definitely stir up a storm in Qing province. Now, it seems like that is indeed the case. Meng Lu said in his heart. The people of the imperial court were undoubtedly very happy. As for the magnates behind them, their expressions turned ugly. They knew that a fierce general had appeared in the imperial court and was the third prince's right-hand man. This person was Lin Ling of the imperial court. Lin Ling, why did you let them go to the Awakening Dragon Palace together? The third prince caught up to Lin Ling and asked in a dignified tone. He had the aura of the Azure Emperor. Lin Ling glanced at the third prince and was unhappy. The third prince kept putting on airs in front of him. Did he really think that he was the Azure Emperor? Moreover, even if he was the real Azure Emperor, Lin Ling wouldn't give him any face. One had to know that the battle earlier reminded Lin Ling of the days when Li Xiaoyao dominated the Nine province. He then thought of the people who died in the rainforest sacred land. His low-profile heart gradually became arrogant. Sometimes, the more low-profile a person was, the more trouble they would bring. Everyone would treat you as a pushover and bully you. Do you think that I can refuse? I can defeat the three magnates in the tree hole, but do you think that's possible outside the tree hole? Let me tell you, even if all the experts of the imperial court are here, the imperial court won't be able to stop the three magnates. Lin Ling said indifferently, as the leader of the imperial court, you should set your sights further. Don't let the imperial court suffer a heavy blow for some small benefits. His words were filled with reprimand, causing the third prince to open his mouth wide. How dare you? Behind him, an old man immediately shouted angrily. This person was a prominent figure in the imperial court. He was a mid-stage martial immortal, so he couldn't stand Lin Ling reprimanding the third prince. Who do you think you are? Lin Ling stopped in his tracks and looked at the old man. I was here when the imperial court was first established. Tell me, who do you think I am? The old man was clearly even more furious. I think you're nothing. Why didn't you speak up when you faced the three magnates? Who was the one who raised the prestige of the imperial court in the tree hole? Where are you? Lin Ling said solemnly. The old man was speechless. You're rebelling. He was a prominent figure, so he didn't like Lin Ling's arrogance at all. Third prince, look at who you brought. Other than taking advantage of his seniority, what else can he do? He's strong, but is he of any use? When he sees the magnates, he only hides behind you. When the imperial court needs someone to stand up, he doesn't even know where he's hiding. Sigh. Chapter 29-32. Water can carry a boat, but it can also capsize it. On the third level, there are many people from the imperial court. They are weak, but they have the courage to become strong. They were captured by the three magnates, but they refused to surrender. They fought with the imperial court's aura. You are strong, but you don't dare to face the three magnates. They are weak, but they dare to. Can you compare to them? Lin Ling said again. Pooh! The elder was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood. He pointed at Lin Ling, but he couldn't say anything. I agree with Lin Ling. If it wasn't for Lin Ling, we wouldn't have gotten the Emperor's life essence. The magnates would look down on us, and we wouldn't have a share in the Awakening Dragon Palace. At this time, Lord Eighth also spoke, supporting Lin Ling. Yes, my second brother is right. Yes. Sakura also said the same. The others from the imperial court were silent. Although Lin Ling had only joined the imperial court for a short time, Lin Ling had created too much fame. They all secretly approved of Lin Ling. Lin Ling, you are right, but the heavens. The third prince frowned and pleaded for the elder. You shut up too. Shut up. However, Lin Ling directly reprimanded her, causing her pupils to tremble. Lin Ling didn't give her any face at all. Water can carry a boat, but it can also capsize it. Think about it. Sometimes, only those who are strong are useful. Those who are useful are those who can be used at the crucial moment. If you let them down, you will find that no one in the imperial court can use them. Lin Ling looked coldly at the third prince and strode forward. The people he was talking about were Lin Ping, and the others from the third level. The third prince was stunned. She was furious. She was from the Jiang family of the Tianzhou Great World, but she was being scolded. However, she couldn't refute it. Because Lin Ling's reputation in the imperial court had greatly increased. Gritting her teeth, she chased after Huang Xiaolong. Lin Ling, I admit that your words make sense, but why did you bring the magnates to the resuscitating dragon palace? Like I said, if the three magnates work together, our royal court will definitely be eliminated from the 8 gods' heavenly palace. Moreover, there are hidden experts among the three magnates. I'm afraid that the remaining experts from the Green Prefecture's 9 great heavens are among them. Lin Ling said without looking at her. There is also another reason, which is that the imperial dynasty won't be able to enter Wake Up Dragon Palace. I see. Although the third prince was annoyed that Lin Ling didn't give him face, he wasn't a little girl and knew that the bigger picture was more important. I know you don't like me, but let me remind you that you'd better not provoke me. Otherwise, you'll regret it. Also, you'd better listen to me because someone like you wasn't even qualified to be my maid in your previous life. Lin Ling glanced at the third prince again, but his tone was no longer as cold as before. He spoke in a casual tone. You. The third prince was so angry that he gritted his teeth, but Lin Ling had already strode forward. As for the people of the royal court, some were angry at Lin Ling's arrogance, while some agreed with Lin Ling's actions because the royal court needed a domineering ruler. As for Sakura and the others, they followed Lin Ling. After a long time, the experts of the royal court rested in a tree hole and waited for the resuscitating dragon palace to open. As for Lin Ling, he found a quiet tree hole and enjoyed this hard-won peace. At the same time, he began to tidy up his loot. He had to admit that he had benefited greatly from the 8 gods' heavenly palace. Other than the scabbard, the time-space divine steel, and little Kunlun, he had a few more trump cards. He took out the ancient martial artist's robe and began to comprehend it. The robe looked ordinary, but it was actually left behind by a martial artist from the era of the gods. It had accompanied the martial artist for his entire life and had memorized many martial arts. Holding the robe with both hands, Lin Ling's all-encompassing demonic eyes appeared. Instantly, he saw the process of an indomitable powerhouse rising from the weak to the strong. All kinds of martial arts and ultimate martial arts flowed through Lin Ling's eyes. Lin Ling's ultimate fire Dao had been greatly enhanced. His Dao domain had improved as well. At the same time, his fire-type universal force had been greatly enhanced as well, reaching 30% of his universal force. Even without using the demonic flame transformation, he was able to reach this level of power. As for the robe, it had turned into fragments and scattered with the wind. I broke through too quickly. Otherwise, my fire universal power would have reached 50%. Lin Ling shook his head regretfully. Then, his eyes lit up because he realized that someone was secretly watching him. It was the third prince. Seeing this, Lin Ling sneered. This third prince was too arrogant. Watching others cultivate was a great taboo in martial arts. However, Lin Ling did not hide anything. He used all the imperial crystals that he had extorted from the 99 princes to cultivate. This time, he wanted to break through to the martial immortal realm with his third dantian. Last time, he had failed to break through with the help of the black forbidden medicine. However, imperial crystals were safer than the black forbidden medicine. Rumble. At the same time, his third dantian crazily increased. Although it was not very talented, it had increased Lin Ling's battle prowess by 20%. Heavens, does this guy not have any bottlenecks in his cultivation? How is this possible? The third prince was indeed secretly watching Lin Ling. At this moment, he was shocked and his chest was violently jumping up and down. How could she know that Lin Ling had already reached a level that even she could only look up to? Thus, it was not difficult for him to break through quickly. After Lin Ling consumed most of the imperial crystals, his third dantian had reached stage 1 martial immortal realm. The aura of an immortal filled the air. What a strange guy. One moment, he gives off the feeling that he's a martial immortal. The next moment, he gives off the feeling that he's a world king. The third prince shook his head again. He could not see through Lin Ling at all. Have you seen enough? However, at this moment, a voice rang in her ears, causing her to blush. It turned out that Lin Ling had already discovered her. The third prince was extremely embarrassed. There's no need to explain. It's not that I, Lin Ling, can't let others watch me cultivate. It's just that if I show them, they might not understand. Lin Ling had already appeared outside the tree hole. There was a huge leaf there, and the third prince was standing on the leaf. One had to admit that the third prince's clothes were whiter than snow. She was as ethereal as a fairy and as cold as the moon. She was indeed a rare beauty. Of course, Lin Ling's gaze was very normal. He was not affected at all. Lin Ling, why? Why did you break through to martial immortal realm again? The third prince quickly changed the topic. Lin Ling smiled when he heard that. He turned his gaze to the distance. At this moment, many experts from the royal clan had arrived. His elder brother, Indra, had also arrived. Indra had actually broken through to the 4th level of the martial immortal realm. The reason was that Lin Ling had given Sakura a lot of forbidden black medicine. The experts of the imperial court gathered on the huge leaf. They all looked at Lin Ling. They had also heard the third prince's words, so they were looking forward to Lin Ling's answer. There was no lack of old monsters among them. There were even sect leaders who had founded their own sects. To them, they had studied martial arts for their entire lives. However, they had never seen a freak like Lin Ling. Chapter 2933. Reprimanding the founding elder of the imperial court. I've heard that there is a fish in the north called the Kuan. The Kuan is so big that no one knows how many thousand miles it can transform into a bird called the Peng. The third prince was very knowledgeable. There is a technique that allows one to become a Kuan Peng. It can transform into a fish in water and become a Peng in the sky. I'm practicing this technique called the Kuan Peng Heaven and Earth technique. That's why I'm sometimes in the World King realm and sometimes in the Martial Immortal realm. That's because I have 2 dantians. Lin Ling slowly explained. Bullshit, it's still possible to create 2 dantians with the help of heavenly treasures, but with the help of a technique? That's impossible. Although techniques are important, they're just external objects. An old man shook his head solemnly. He was the Sky Elder who refuted Lin Ling. Lin Ling looked at him with disdain. Impossible with the help of a technique? Did he think the Chaos Divine formula was a joke? Lin Ling just didn't want to expose the Chaos Divine formula, so he said the Kuan Peng Heaven and Earth technique. The Kuan Peng Heaven and Earth technique could indeed create 2 dantians. One was the Peng and the other was the fish. It was also called the Heaven and Earth Dantian. Don't look at the world with your eyes. That's just your eyes. Only a toad would say the word impossible. Lin Ling said with disdain. Lin Ling's attitude and disdain infuriated Elder Sky so much that his face turned red. Lin Ling reprimanded him again and again as if he was a martial arts grandmaster. If it wasn't for the third prince, he really wanted to teach Lin Ling a lesson. The third prince also frowned. Lin Ling was indeed powerful, but the Sky Elder was the guiding light of her life. He solved many difficult problems for her. Therefore, she couldn't help but say, Lin Ling, the Sky Elder is highly respected in the imperial court. His knowledge is as vast as the sea. Don't always target him. Vast as the sea. Third prince, you must be joking. If that's the case, then look at my talent. Lin Ling mockingly smiled and activated the realm-swallowing beast talent. This made the Sky Elder frown. He had seen this talent, but he didn't know what it was. The others were the same. I don't think you can understand it. Let me tell you, this is a realm-swallowing beast. Lin Ling cast a sidelong glance at Old Heaven. How is this possible? This time, everyone exclaimed in unison. Everyone present knew about the world-swallowing beast. It was a strange beast that existed in the chaos of the universe. It was immortal and mysterious. Once it appeared, 10,000 worlds would be swallowed up. Now, this secret of the universe was Lin Ling's talent. Nothing is impossible when it comes to me, so don't judge others with your little knowledge. You can't do it, but that doesn't mean others can't. Lin Ling said disdainfully, making the group of old monsters embarrassed. They couldn't refute, but they were very unhappy with Lin Ling's disdainful attitude. They were the founding elders of the imperial dynasty, so when had they ever been scolded by a junior? The third prince also felt that it was difficult to put down his face. Moreover, she thought of the first time she met Lin Ling. Lin Ling had left her with the impression that he was arrogant and unruly. Now, this arrogance was getting more and more exaggerated. Even Red Jade Tiger and the others had the same feeling. It seemed that after the destruction of the Rainforest Holy Land, Lin Ling had quietly changed. In the past, Lin Ling gave them a very mysterious feeling. Now, Lin Ling was not only mysterious, but also ethereal. He was like the Azure Emperor, inviolable, inviolable, inviolable. Perhaps the destruction of the Rainforest Holy Land made Lin Ling no longer retreat behind the scenes. Instead, he chose to stand at the peak of the Qin province. In the past, he was very weak and didn't have much right to speak. Even though his country was destroyed, there were still people who dared to provoke him. Now, Lin Ling has stepped into the martial immortal realm and entered the ranks of the strongest martial artists in the Qin province. He will no longer be bullied. Lord 8 secretly laughed. He liked the current Lin Ling even more because he dared to take responsibility for his actions and was not afraid of power. Lin Ling knew that the third prince was not convinced. He took out the essence of the world mountain and said, "Then let me ask you another question. Do you know what this is? Whoever answers correctly, I will give this stone to him as a reward." Yes. Once the essence of the world mountain was taken out, the eyes of the people in the imperial dynasty flickered. They kept guessing what treasure it was. It seems like it is some kind of sealing stone. Yes. Perhaps, this is an existence that surpasses the Emperor Crystal. It contains endless essence of the universe. Yes. I think it is just an ordinary stone. Yes. Those old monsters touched their chins and said. A bunch of nonsense. You should go back and cultivate in seclusion for 10,000 years. You don't know anything. Are these the founding elders of the imperial dynasty? Yes. Hearing those guesses, Lin Ling couldn't help but laugh. You. Those old monsters were all trembling with anger. Lin Ling, how many times had he scolded them today? That tone, that disdain, it was too infuriating. After all, with Lin Ling's age, he was too young to be their grand disciple. This is the essence of the World Mountain. It was left behind by the World Mountain after the world shattered. After countless years, it finally formed the essence. Lin Ling said the answer. Hearing this, those old monsters' faces turned red. They had never heard of the essence of the World Mountain before. Elder Heaven was still unwilling to give up and said, "You are the one who is talking nonsense. I think it is just an ordinary stone." You. Hearing those words, Lin Ling stared at Elder Heavenly. His gaze caused Elder Heavenly's face to turn red. He did not dare to look Lin Ling in the eye. As for Lin Ling, he did not bother to explain himself. He formed a complicated spirit formation with his hands and removed the layer of ordinary clothing from the fist-sized ancient stone in his hand. Feel it for yourself. You. He threw the stone at Elder Heaven. The latter laughed in disdain. Watch me destroy it. Boom. Just as he caught the stone, his expression changed greatly. As if he was holding 10,000 worlds, his body smashed into the ground. Rumble. The entire ground was shaking, as if countless mountains in 10,000 worlds smashed down. A huge crater also appeared. At that moment, the crowd were all greatly alarmed. That fist-sized toy was actually capable of sending a late-stage martial immortal expert flying. This is a joke, right? However, Elder Heaven's strength was not weak. At this moment, he was holding the mountain with both hands. His legs trembled as he floated up from the crater. He bitterly shouted, "Someone, come help me. Help." When those words were spoken, everyone bitterly smiled. Finally, a few old monsters came out and saved Elder Heaven. Then, they carried the fist-sized stone and returned it to Lin Ling with both hands. "Sir Lin Ling, we really didn't know this stone was so miraculous." Sigh. Elder Heaven seemed to be convinced. His face was in a sorry state. "You are short-sighted, so it's not strange that you didn't know." However, the Prime Minister's face was filled with pain. "Can't you see it? If it was an ordinary treasure, would that old man feel pain?" Lin Ling could also see that these old monsters were stumped by these few questions. They also didn't dare to take advantage of their seniority. In the imperial court, only the third prince still refused to accept him. "Third prince, what do you have to say?" Therefore, Lin Ling looked at the third prince and said. The third prince's eyes flickered and he suddenly said, "Your Excellency Lin Ling, very good. From now on, you will be the imperial court's dragon and tiger general. This dragon and tiger general is only below me and Grandma Wen Dao. You are as famous as Indra." Chapter 29-34. Training the Third Princess. Everyone in the imperial court was envious. Lin Ling, someone who had just joined the imperial court, had become a dragon general in the blink of an eye. This was a great gift. "Your Excellency Lin Ling, how is it? Are you satisfied?" The third prince looked at everyone and then looked at Lin Ling coldly. In her opinion, she had already given Lin Ling a lot of face. Many people from the Jiang family in the Tianzhou Great World had helped her, but none of them were qualified to become a dragon general. Hearing this, Lin Ling sneered. There was a limit to his patience with this girl's arrogance. He, Lin Ling, had helped the imperial court many times, but the third prince kept putting on an act in front of him. She didn't know that Lin Ling stayed in the imperial court because he was giving face to Grandma Wen Dao. "Do you think I'll be happy just because you gave me the position of general? I'm someone who doesn't even care about the position of Emperor Qing. Do you think a vanity position can make me smile? You're underestimating me, Lin Ling." Lin Ling said calmly, "I helped you become Emperor Qing because of Grandma Wen Dao. In reality, I didn't gain anything. Instead, you took advantage of me. You." The third prince didn't expect Lin Ling's words to be so harsh. I know you're the eldest daughter of the Jiang family in the Tianzhou Great World and the daughter of Emperor Qing. It's normal for you to be arrogant. Lin Ling continued, moreover, you can continue to be arrogant in front of me, but it's best to stop this arrogance before going too far. Because when I, Lin Ling, sweep through the 9 states in the future and you come looking for me again, you won't even have the qualifications to stand by my side at that time. I'll even despise you for being a servant girl. You. The third prince spat out another sentence. Everyone's expression changed, but they all smiled bitterly. They didn't expect Lin Ling to be even more arrogant than the third prince. The third prince stared at Lin Ling. She realized that although Lin Ling's words were arrogant, his expression was calm as if he was talking about the most normal thing. If someone else said this, the third prince would definitely think they were arrogant and ignorant. However, Lin Ling was different. He always did what he said. It gave her the illusion that Lin Ling would sweep through the 9 states in the future. At the same time, she remembered Grandma Wen Dao's words. She wanted her to be Lin Ling's disciple. All sorts of thoughts appeared in the third prince's mind. He was angry and helpless at the same time. With a cold face, he said, if you're so powerful, then prove yourself. Prove? Lin Ling. Lin Ling said nonchalantly. That attitude once again made the third prince grit his teeth. This was the first time she had seen such an arrogant junior in Qingzhou. Then give me some pointers on my martial arts. The third prince finally said. Lin Ling smiled. His 10,000 demonic eyes quietly appeared. He checked the third prince's talent and said, the bloodline of your Jiang family is condensed in your right arm. Moreover, you cultivate a divine technique called the Heavenly Mandate 9 Yang art. You can transform into a giant arm and control the 10,000 realms. Am I right? The last time he met the third prince, Lin Ling had challenged the people of the Great World's Jiang family. He knew that their innate gifts appeared in their arms. Then, he thought of a genius he had met in his previous life and immediately had a guess. That genius's talent was also in his right arm. He had the 9 Yang Qi. The third prince also had it. How did you know? At this moment, the third prince's beautiful eyes narrowed. It was not strange that Lin Ling had guessed the source of her talent, but it was strange that Lin Ling also knew that she was practicing her family's cultivation method. I've said it before. There's nothing in this chaotic universe that I don't know. Lin Ling shrugged and said, your family's technique is indeed powerful. Moreover, you should have cultivated to the 4th son. It's a pity. If you combine yin and yang, you'll be truly invincible. What do you mean by that? The third prince's attitude finally changed. She was no longer cold and arrogant. The Kunpeng Heaven and Earth technique is very suitable for you because it's a water-type technique. It can be combined with your family's Heavenly Mandate 9 Yang art to form the great Tao of water and fire. In the end, you can transform into the giant arm Kunpeng. However, there's a prerequisite. Lin Ling said slowly. I can cultivate the Kunpeng Heaven and Earth technique. The third prince's face changed dramatically. She would be lying if she said she wasn't tempted by a technique with 2 dantians. You can. However, the prerequisite is that you have to give up the Heavenly Mandate 9 Yang art and abandon your dantian to cultivate again. Lin Ling said. What? The third prince's eyes narrowed. She was currently a middle-stage martial immortal. She had outstanding talent and her ultimate martial path was powerful. However, she had to abandon everything. That's right. If your Heavenly Mandate 9 Yang art has reached the 5th sun, then you'd better not covet the Kunpeng Heaven and Earth technique because it'll be too late by then. Lin Ling turned around and left, leaving the third prince with a confused expression. She believed that Lin Ling wouldn't dare to deceive her, nor would he harm her. However, she was really reluctant to give up her strength. Moreover, it was very dangerous because she would be weak if she were to recultivate. If she were to encounter a strong enemy, she wouldn't be able to do anything. Moreover, only you are qualified to cultivate the Kuan-Ping heaven and earth technique because it requires a lot of resources. Ordinary people can't afford those resources. Lin Ling's voice drifted over again. Third princess, ignore him. An old woman beside the third prince immediately said. She was the third prince's personal old servant and she was also from the Tianzhou realm's Jiang family. Of course, the others also agreed with the old woman. After all, it wasn't that easy to reach the martial immortal realm. Alright, I promise you. However, it must be after the 8 gods' heavenly palace. However, the third prince had already spoken firmly. You have courage. You are the right person to become Emperor Qing. Stop. Lin Ling stopped and couldn't help but smile. I'll give you the Son of Heaven's life essence that I obtained earlier. As for the Kuan-Ping heaven and earth technique, after leaving the 8 gods' heavenly palace, I'll personally guide you. Stop. Seeing Lin Ling leave, the third prince's eyes flickered. She had never thought that Lin Ling was qualified to be her master. However, now it seemed that she was half kneeling in taking Lin Ling as her master. Third princess, are you stupid? Stop. The old woman didn't understand why the third princess would listen to Lin Ling. Although Lin Ling had some ability, he was currently even weaker than the third princess. I've bet my future on Grandma One. The third prince's body emitted the aura of an son of heaven. She knew that with her family's cultivation technique, she could only be considered above average in the Jiang family. However, her ambition was not limited to that. She wanted to become the #1 in the Jiang family and become the Emperor Qing of the Qingzhou realm. In the past, her hope was Grandma One. However, Grandma One had recommended Lin Ling to her. Therefore, she gambled that Grandma One wouldn't harm her. Don't worry, I'll slowly train you to become the Emperor Qing. As if he had guessed the third prince's thoughts, Lin Ling's voice drifted into the third prince's ears, causing her to blush. Train. After leaving, Lin Ling found a tree hole and began to cultivate. Wow, second brother, you're amazing. Even the third prince was completely under your control. That ice beauty had scolded me a lot in the past. Chapter 29-35. Night Talk. Hee, big brother, don't laugh at me. However, when I first met the third prince, he was also very arrogant. He actually used me to motivate the younger generation of the Jiang family. He even treated me, Lin Ling, as free labor. Lin Ling laughed. He was the same as before when he was with his family and friends. Then, Lin Ling said with a deep look in his eyes, Big brother, the rainforest sacred land has been destroyed. It's time for us to stand up because we'll have to fight the Empress Dowager sooner or later. So, we have to be strong when necessary. Sakura nodded when he heard this. Presently, he and Lin Ling weren't ordinary people in the Azure County anymore. An expert naturally had to have the demeanor of an expert, so he understood the changes that Lin Ling had undergone during this period of time. This was because their enemy was the Empress Dowager. How could they be intimidated by a minor character like the leader of the magnates? The two of them chatted for a long time before Sakura finally left. Lin Ling took out the essence of the World Mountain and then activated the Primal Chaos Divine Formula, planning to refine this treasure. The essence of World Mountain is not any lower than the level of the big seawater heart flower. If I can successfully refine it, my godly demon body will reach the barren body level. The world-swallowing beast's power will increase greatly. Lin Ling thought to himself, but he was worried that the Chaos Godly formula would not be able to refine the essence of World Mountain. However, he was obviously thinking too much. When he activated the Primal Chaos Divine Formula, the fist-sized ancient stone immediately melted. Moreover, it enveloped Lin Ling's left arm and disappeared within it. After an unknown period of time, Lin Ling opened his eyes and smiled bitterly. This time, he did not completely refine it. Instead, the essence of the world mountain was stuck in his left arm. As for his left arm, it had undoubtedly become much more powerful. Coupled with his 800,000 universes of power, he would most likely be able to kill a 5th-level martial immortal with his physical strength alone. Stuck in the left arm? Could it be that my physical body has gathered too much power of the universe and I can't refine it all at once? Lin Ling secretly guessed that his primal chaos divine method could refine any treasure, but his physical body had not reached such a height. However, he believed that it wouldn't be long before the world mountain's essence would be refined. Calculating the time, tomorrow would be the day when all the magnates would gather. And in these 2 days, Lin Ling's strength had once again increased greatly, causing him to sigh. This 8 gods' heavenly palace was truly worthy of being a palace left behind by a god. It was night, and the world of plants was very quiet. All kinds of fragrances of flowers were floating in the air, and the wind blew past, making people feel incomparably relaxed. Lin Ling stood on a huge leaf and gazed into the distance. "You miss your family?" A clear and melodious voice suddenly rang out. Under the moonlight, the 3rd prince was like a princess in snow-white robes, walking over with light steps. However, she was no longer as cold and distant as before. "You're not hiding your identity anymore." Lin Ling was still looking at the sky. On this level, the 3rd prince had always presented himself as a woman. Hence, Lin Ling guessed that the 3rd prince had gained the confidence to not be afraid of the gossip of the authorities. "I won't hide anymore." The 3rd prince came to Lin Ling's side. She tucked her fringe behind her ear, giving off a different vibe. It was beautiful. The 3rd prince was indeed as beautiful as a fairy from the Moon Palace. "As a woman, you've worked hard to become the Azure the Arch," Lin Ling said. "So what if it's hard? My mother is dead, and my life's goal is to kill the Azure the Arch. Hence, as long as the Azure the Arch is not dead, Jiang Shuiying will not rest," the 3rd prince said indifferently. "You will succeed. Remember, if you want to become a leader, other than strength, sometimes it's also very important to win people's hearts. Don't underestimate the weak, and don't let them down." Lin Ling turned around and looked at the 3rd prince. "I'll remember." The 3rd prince nodded. After pondering for a moment, she bowed to Lin Ling. Meanwhile, Lin Ling calmly accepted the bow with his hands behind his back. "Grandma Wen Dao told me to take you as my master. I wonder if Sir Lin Ling will accept me." The 3rd prince raised her head and looked forward to Lin Ling's reply. This time, she had clearly thought it through. Lin Ling had repeatedly created miracles, and in a short period of time, he had risen to power in the imperial court. All of this showed that he was a powerful cultivator who had fought in the 9 states before. However, this powerful cultivator had just risen, and the 3rd prince had underestimated him. Of course, she still had some doubts as to where the limits of this powerful cultivator were. Lin Ling smiled bitterly. "You took Grandma Wen Dao's word seriously?" "Seriously." The 3rd prince nodded. "As long as you're willing to take me as your disciple, I'm willing to do anything." When she said that, her pretty face turned red, and her plump upper body bounced up and down like a rabbit. This made Lin Ling smile even more bitterly. To be honest, he still liked the aloof 3rd princess. "You don't have to do this. As long as Grandma Wen Dao is here, I will definitely help you. As for doing anything, there's no need. I have a family." Lin Ling stopped smiling and said seriously. "Master, do you dislike me?" The 3rd prince frowned when she heard that. That charming look was very beautiful. "Don't call me master. I don't plan to take you as my disciple. Secondly, don't insult me, Lin Ling. I have a family, and I'm not the kind of person you think I am." Lin Ling said with a serious expression. "Your Excellency Lin Ling, I'm sorry. The third prince was stunned and quickly bowed to Lin Ling. In fact, after saying that, she was very nervous. If Lin Ling had nodded, she would have had to give her body. However, after Lin Ling rejected her, she suddenly felt disappointed. Was she not beautiful? Could it be that his status was very low? Why were countless men in Qingzhou yearning for her, but Lin Ling was indifferent? Your wives must be very happy, right? The third prince suppressed her thoughts and suddenly asked. Lin Ling immediately nodded. Looking into the distance, he thought of Yu, Xian Yuan Gu, and the rest. He also thought of his grandfather and mother. You are out fighting, but you think of them when you are free. They should be the motivation for you to become stronger. The third prince said again. That's right. They are the motivation for me to become stronger. When the day comes that I wash my enemies with blood, I will accompany them throughout the universe. Lin Ling looked at the moon in the sky and thought of the heavenly court that covered the 9 states, as well as the Empress Tian Liuli who stood above the 9 states. The third prince looked at Lin Ling's cold eyes and her heart trembled. In Lin Ling's resolute eyes, she saw the vicissitudes of life, the secrets of the universe, and a huge mission. Lin Ling should be a man with a story. The third prince thought to herself. For some reason, the current Lin Ling was very attractive to her. Meanwhile, Lin Ling was still looking into the distance and said meaningfully, Third prince, I know that you seem to respect me, but in fact, you are still a little unwilling, right? That's right, Your Excellency Lin Ling. I know that you are very mysterious and powerful. However, I still have some doubts in my heart. For example, what is your limit? Can you really rule the 9 states? Of course, these doubts are not many anymore. The third prince did not hide anything and nodded. You will understand in the future. Chapter 29-36. The magnates had gathered. Third princess, how have you been? A loud voice sounded at the same time. A figure floated up from the ground with his hands behind his back and a large number of experts following behind him. The 76th prince. The third princess frowned. I didn't expect that the beautiful elder sister from back then would become the most promising person to become the next Emperor Qing after my father. The person who came was the 76th prince. He smiled at the third princess and then at Lin Ling. Of course, his eyes were extremely cold when he looked at Lin Ling. Lin Ling had humiliated him twice in the 8 gods' heavenly palace. Didn't this lowly peasant know that he was the son of the Azure Emperor? Didn't he know that he had the noble bloodline of the Azure Emperor? If Lin Ling hadn't obtained the map of the Waking Dragon Palace, he would have tortured Lin Ling to death. At the same time, Lin Ling looked at the 76th Crown Prince and smiled disdainfully. This smile made the 76th Crown Prince clench his teeth. He suddenly said, Third Princess, can I talk to you about something? What is it? The third princess replied. Although you are the leader of the 4 magnates in Qing province, the other 3 magnates are not weak. The Prime Minister is the mastermind behind the Blue Flame Army, but there is another mastermind. I'm sure you have guessed it. As for the Minister of the Left is definitely not the mastermind. There are also the 99 Crown Princes of the Imperial Court. He has gathered a lot of Azure Emperor's bloodline and is very powerful. On the other hand, your Imperial Court is a little weak. The 76th Prince said proudly. What are you trying to say? The third princess frowned. I want to say that if I join your Imperial Court, your strength will increase greatly. You should know that although I know the magnates, I have not joined them. The 76th Prince grinned. Hearing this, the third princess's eyes flashed and said, What are your conditions? I knew you wouldn't reject. The 76th Prince had already guessed the third princess's expression. Give me Lin Ling. After that, I, the 76th Prince, will join the Imperial Court. This will greatly benefit you. Although Lin Ling is one of the 9 heavens of Qing province, can he compare to the people behind me? I have countless experts on my side. Hee hee. At the end of his sentence, the 76th prince laughed out loud. Compared to Lin Ling, he believed that he was more tempting. He even guessed that the 3rd princess would definitely agree. And if Lin Ling were to fall into his hands, he would definitely torture Lin Ling. Rejected. Hee hee. However, just as he was about to smile, the 3rd princess had already answered him coldly. You're crazy. Hee hee. The 76th prince's eyes widened, and so did the cultivators behind him. There were so many of them, yet they were no match for Lin Ling. At this moment, Lin Ling calmly looked ahead. How could he not know the other party's intentions? However, he obviously did not have time to deal with this clown. 76th Prince, slap yourself 3 times. Seeing that the Dragon Palace is about to open, I will spare your life for now. A cold voice came out of Lin Ling's mouth. Hearing this, the 76th Prince and the others were stunned and dumbfounded. Lin Ling actually spoke to them in such a tone. Lowly commoner who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth, do you know whose bloodline I am? Trash like you has the right to talk to me? If you didn't have the map of Wake Up Dragon Palace, 10 of your lives would not be worth a single strand of my hair. The 76th Prince roared. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. Lin Ling smiled and did not bother to talk nonsense. He turned and left. Didn't you want me to slap myself 3 times? Why don't you dare to speak? I knew it. You're a coward. When faced with my noble bloodline, you only know how to kneel and beg for mercy. Seeing Lin Ling leave, the 76th Prince became arrogant. The experts behind him also sneered. Go and slap him 3 times. He's so noisy. Lin Ling continued to move forward and left a message for the 3rd princess. Huh, you actually ordered the 3rd princess? Huh, I'm not deaf, right? Doctor, tell me, did I hear wrongly? Hearing Lin Ling's words, the 76th Prince laughed even louder. The people behind him were also laughing hysterically. The 3rd princess was one of the people behind the scenes. She had a powerful background and the bloodline of the Azure Emperor. Not many people in Qingzhou could order her around, not even the 99th prince. And now, a mere Lin Ling dared to order the 3rd princess. Did he think he was the Azure Emperor? Lin Ling is right. You're really noisy. However, the 3rd princess had already taken a step forward and was walking towards him. This time, the 76th prince and the others' faces stiffened. They looked as if they had eaten dog shit. Did they hear wrongly? The 3rd princess really listened to Lin Ling. Unfortunately, the 3rd princess did not explain anything. She was powerful and had already appeared in front of the 76th prince. She slapped him. Rumble. That slap sent the 76th prince to the ground. The 3rd princess followed closely behind. Then, from the dense forest on the ground, cries of pain could be heard. In the sky, the people brought by the 76th prince were all stunned. It was as if they had seen a ghost. Wasn't the 3rd prince the most powerful person in the imperial court? How did it become Lin Ling? At this time, the 3rd princess had already floated up with a cold expression. If you make any more noise, I'll kill all of you. After saying that, she turned and left. Those experts were instantly scared out of their wits. They knew that the 3rd princess would really kill them. However, the resuscitating dragon palace was about to open and the 3rd princess did not want to create more trouble. At the same time, the 76th prince floated up. His face was bruised and swollen. He was so angry that his forehead was covered in smoke. Lin Ling, that lowly commoner, had slapped him in the face for the 3rd time. We've come according to the agreement. At this time, a roar could be heard from afar. A large number of experts had arrived. They were the people of the 3 magnates. The three leading them were the 99th prince, the prime minister, and the minister of the left. When they saw the 76th prince who looked like a pig's head, their expressions changed. Previously, they had seen how the third princess had rejected the 76th prince for Lin Ling. This meant that Lin Ling's status in the imperial court was unparalleled. Lin Ling, what kind of person is he? How did he achieve such results? This Lin Ling is already the leader of the magnates. All the magnates whispered to each other. If the previous Lin Ling could not be underestimated, the current Lin Ling was on the same level as them. He could even influence the future Emperor Qing. Everyone is here. That's great. Let's get ready to go. On the giant leaf, Lin Ling's smile could be heard. That smile was so mysterious that it made all the magnates' eyes light up. They believed that Lin Ling was not a fool. Since he dared to invite them to the resuscitating dragon palace, he would definitely need their help. They would be free fighters. However, even though Lin Ling was smart, they had to be careful that their cleverness backfired on them. If they were able to obtain treasures from the dragon palace, their strength would increase tremendously. Lin Ling would not be a threat anymore. Chapter 29-37. Don't spout nonsense if you don't know anything. Lin Ling knew what they were thinking. Unfortunately, Lin Ling had memorized the map of the resuscitating dragon palace. In addition, he had been to the eight-god celestial palace in his previous life. Therefore, Lin Ling wasn't afraid of them causing any trouble. Your Excellency Lin Ling, I wonder if you are interested in joining the Blue Flame Army? Suddenly, the Prime Minister looked at Lin Ling and smiled, his attitude amiable. I'll take a look. Lin Ling replied calmly. He took a step forward and walked into the distance. Behind him were the people from the imperial court. Hearing that, the Prime Minister's eyes lit up. Lin Ling didn't reject him immediately. This meant that he still had a chance to recruit Lin Ling. Although he didn't like Lin Ling, he couldn't deny that Lin Ling was indeed a genius. If he could use him, the advantages would outweigh the disadvantages. Although this Lin Ling is powerful, he is only ranked 5th among the 9 elites. If I didn't have the map of the resuscitating dragon palace, I would have killed him long ago. As for the 99th crown prince, he secretly snorted. The 76th crown prince immediately flattered him. That's right. Lin Ling only has a lowly bloodline. How can he compare to our Emperor Qing's bloodline? Hearing that, the 99th crown prince nodded. He looked at the left prime minister and realized that the latter was calm and indifferent. However, he knew that the left prime minister didn't take Lin Ling seriously. He was just using Lin Ling. To put it bluntly, although Lin Ling was one of the best in Qingzhou, compared to the leaders of the magnates, his foundation was indeed weaker. The Prime Minister must have extended an olive branch to Lin Ling because of the resuscitating dragon palace. As for the Marquis of Sovereign Justice, Mother of Thunder, and the rest, they sneered. This was because they knew that Lin Ling had become a thorn in the side of the magnates. If they weren't careful, Lin Ling could very well die in the hands of the magnates. Everyone followed Lin Ling, and at the front of the group, Lin Ling rode on the fire qilin, looking majestic. Who would have thought that there would be a day where that brat, Lin Ling, would actually lead the 4 magnates? Lord 8th looked at the distant figure and could not help but sigh. He believed that if news of this were to spread to Pine Prefecture, it would absolutely cause unrest in Pine Prefecture. The cultivators of Qingzhou continued forward, passing through countless plants and vines. Finally, Lin Ling's footsteps stopped. At this moment, everyone became nervous. They looked around and saw that they were on top of a hill. This hill was very big, but it looked extremely ordinary. Old man Xing Xiang, please take a look. The Lord Left Minister said politely to someone behind him. An old man wearing a starry robe walked out. A starry array appeared around him. His hands were skillfully moving around. This person was actually a world spiritist, and his skills were superb. Old man Xingxiang. I didn't expect that the left prime minister would invite him out of the mountain. Seeing this, the third princess's face turned serious. That's a red-robed world spiritist. Not just a red-robed world spiritist. I'm afraid he's half a step into the gold-robed world spiritist. Lin Ling said with a smile. Hearing this, the third princess, Sakura, and the others gasped. If that was the case, then the imperial court would be in trouble. Your Excellency Lin Ling, the Lord Left Minister obviously wants to find the entrance to the Dragon Palace. If he succeeds, he might kill you first. The third princess frowned. If they found the entrance, Lin Ling would be useless. Lin Ling had extorted the magnates not long ago. Those magnates would join forces to kill Lin Ling. By then, the imperial court would not be able to stop the three magnates. At this moment, the 99th prince and the others were sneering with their hands behind their backs. In their eyes, Lin Ling was asking a tiger for its skin. Daring to make a deal with them was equivalent to dancing on a tightrope. This hill is called the Spirit Boundary Mountain. It's a magical place. The Dragon Palace might be under this hill. Finally, Elder Xingxiang said. The Lord Left Minister and the others were overjoyed. Found the entrance to the Dragon Palace. They couldn't help but look at Lin Ling with cold eyes. This made the third princess and the others feel as if they were facing a great enemy. They were all prepared for a fierce battle. Hehe, you're Elder Xingxiang, right? But at this moment, Lin Ling said slowly, are you sure this is the entrance to the Dragon Palace? Are you sure this is the Spirit Boundary Mountain? Old man, don't talk nonsense if you don't understand. Brat, what did you say? Elder Xingxiang raised his eyebrows when he saw Lin Ling's disdainful look. Although he had seen Lin Ling's prowess in the divine cave, Lin Ling was like a junior to him. It seems like you still don't understand what I'm saying. Look at my lips. If you don't understand, don't talk nonsense. Lin Ling said again. You. Elder Xingxiang was furious. Ignorant brat, you must be afraid that the lords will kill you. That's why you're talking nonsense. When he said that, the 99th prince and the others frowned. They did want to kill Lin Ling, but Elder Xingxiang had said it. This made them feel a little embarrassed. Humph, I'm not bragging. Even if I stood here and let them kill me, they wouldn't dare to. However, Lin Ling smiled sarcastically. You said this is the Spirit Boundary Mountain. Actually, this is a flower bud called the elephant drum flower. That's why you shouldn't talk nonsense if you don't understand. When he said that, everyone was shocked. Because the hill under their feet, no matter how they looked at it, was actually a huge mound of dirt. It did not look like a flower bud at all. Some people even used their eye of heaven to look at it carefully. It was indeed a hill. Lin Ling, this is a serious matter. Don't talk nonsense. The Lord Left Minister said immediately. Lord Left Minister, it seems like you're very protective. How about this? If this is a flower bud, why don't you give Lord Xingxiang 3 slaps? Lin Ling said. This. Humph. The Lord Left Minister was put in a difficult position. He was the one who invited old man Xingxiang. He had visited him 3 times before old man Xingxiang came to give him face. Old man Xingxiang's background was not small. He had studied spirit boundaries together with Emperor Qing. Thus, even the Lord Left Minister had to treat him with respect, let alone give him 3 slaps. Lord Left Minister, do as he says. I don't believe that I, old man Xingxiang, have been around since Emperor Qing ascended to the throne. How can I lose to a brat who is still wet behind the ears? You don't have to give me face. Humph. Old man Xingxiang said while blowing his beard. He believed in his own spirit boundary technique. Moreover, he was going to teach Lin Ling, this arrogant brat, a lesson today." Seeing that, the crowd also sneered. They were looking forward to a good show. "So, you agree?" "Then, I, Lin Ling, also agree. If this is the spirit boundary mountain, Lin Ling, will give you my head. Now, let me ask you a question. The spirit boundary mountain is the boundary of the universe. It's like a knot in the heart of a cultivator. However, it has a special characteristic. When it encounters water mist, can you see if this mountain will produce mist?" "Humph." Lin Ling took a step forward and asked indifferently. Hearing that, old man Xing Xiang opened his mouth wide. He didn't know that the spirit boundary mountain could encounter water mist. "Let me ask you another question. You said that this is the entrance to the Dragon Palace." Lin Ling took another step forward, opposing him with equal harshness. Old man Xing Xiang quietly took a step back. He calculated that this mountain was not ordinary, but he didn't know how to enter the Dragon Palace. Chapter 29:38. The Taboo of the Gods. I told you that you don't understand, yet you are so arrogant. Now that you have nothing to say, let me tell you. The elephant drum flower blooms when it meets fire. Fire. Lin Ling's right hand was burning with flames as he sprinkled the fire seeds. Rumble. A miracle happened. The huge hill started to shake and the soil started to move. Gradually, the flower petals opened. It was an ancient flower as big as a mountain. It was like the king of flowers. No wonder it was called the elephant drum flower. It was as big as an elephant. It's really a flower. Everyone was shocked, and it was an eye-opener because this was the first time they had seen such a huge flower. Elder Xing Xiang, do you admit defeat? Lin Ling looked at Elder Xing Xiang and asked. Elephant drum flower? Is this the elephant drum flower? Elder Xing Xiang's heart was pounding. He was in a daze. Let me ask you, do you admit defeat? However, Lin Ling took another step forward with a majestic aura. Plop. Elder Xing Xiang fell from the sky and sat on the ground. Lord Left Minister, give him 3 slaps. He is too inexperienced to play tricks in front of me, Lin Ling. Lin Ling sneered and walked towards the huge elephant drum flower. What he said and how he looked was undoubtedly a huge blow to the magnates. Because they weren't surprised that Lin Ling was able to defeat all the geniuses of Pine Prefecture, but the fact that Lin Ling was able to cause old man Xing Xiang to suffer a loss was a huge matter that shook Pine Prefecture. Elder Xing Xiang, I'm sorry. The Lord Left Minister looked at Lin Ling angrily. He knew that Lin Ling's words were directed at them. The 3 magnates were too inexperienced to play tricks in front of Lin Ling. This sentence was even more infuriating than giving him 3 slaps. They were the founding elders of Qingzhou and had worked together with the Azure Emperor. However, Lin Ling said that they were too inexperienced. Could it be that Lin Ling was an old monster that was even more powerful than the Azure Emperor? I admit defeat. Give me 3 slaps. Elder Xing Xiang said through gritted teeth. Master. A 7th-layer martial immortal expert among the crowd yelled. Such an expert was merely old man Xing Xiang's disciple. From this, one could see old man Xing Xiang's seniority. Pa pa pa. However, old man Xing Xiang was still slapped 3 times by the left minister. His beard fell to the ground and his old face was filled with embarrassment. He, old man Xing Xiang, was renowned throughout the Azure Prefecture. This was also the first time he had been humiliated in front of so many people. Even the Azure Emperor of the past could not do this. Lin Ling, you're giving us a show of strength, reminding us not to act recklessly. You're crazy enough. The 99th prince had also guessed what Lin Ling meant. His expression turned ugly. At this moment, Lin Ling had already entered the giant flower. Everyone looked at each other and hurriedly followed one after another. What an arrogant guy. The more I look at him, the more annoyed I am. Once we find the entrance, I will kill him first. The 76th Crown Prince said coldly as he followed the crowd. Inside the giant flower, there seemed to be a world of its own. It formed an ancient path, surrounded by a misty world that seemed to lead to another void. Everyone was shocked as they stepped on the ancient path. I didn't expect there to be a world of its own under the flower. The 99th Prince said solemnly. 99th Prince, don't talk nonsense if you don't know anything. Didn't old man Xing Xiang increase your intelligence? However, Lin Ling's voice floated from the front. This is within the stem of the flower, not a world of its own. As soon as he said that, the 99th Prince almost exploded. Was Lin Ling purposely making him lose face? Calm down, 99th Prince. He's purposely infuriating you. Seeing that, the Prime Minister immediately sent a telepathic message, which made the 99th Prince roar in his heart. He had to endure it for now. Through the previous incident, they also knew that if they wanted to find the entrance to the Dragon Palace, they still had to rely on Lin Ling. As they walked along the path, the ancient path gradually narrowed. There were many plants growing on both sides. They were all blood-colored plants with ancient leaves. On each leaf, a star was suspended, breathing in and out the chaotic aura. It looked extremely mysterious. Star Origin Tree. Someone exclaimed. The sound made all the powerful cultivators restless. I forgot to mention one thing. In here, you can't touch anything. However, at this time, Lin Ling's voice came from the front. His all-encompassing demonic eyes stared at the blood-colored plants and flickered slightly. Who do you think you are? Why should the three magnates listen to you? Some of the powerful cultivators immediately retorted. Lin Ling's words represent my words. However, at this time, the Prime Minister also spoke, which made the people who objected very unhappy. That was because the Star Origin Tree was a precious treasure. Not only could it be used to refine weapons and become ultimate weapons, but it could also be refined to improve one's ultimate martial path. Now, they were asked to give up such a precious treasure and listen to Lin Ling. How could they be willing to accept that? That's right. The Imperial Censor Dragon Court is the same. However, Your Excellency Lin Ling, can you tell me why you can't touch anything? The 99th Prince didn't like being ordered around by Lin Ling, but he endured it. People of the Imperial Court, follow me. However, Lin Ling didn't even look at him and had already walked forward. You're courting death. Seeing this, the 99th Prince was enraged again. Lin Ling didn't care about the bloodline of the Azure the Arch. At this time, the people of the Imperial Court followed Lin Ling forward, but the three magnates didn't move. They looked at the precious treasures around them and were extremely reluctant to part with them. My lord, are we really going to listen to Lin Ling? Someone asked softly. The Prime Minister, the Left Minister, and the 99th Prince all sneered. In the beginning, they had listened to Lin Ling because they were afraid that something unexpected would happen. However, now, they felt that Lin Ling was deliberately mystifying things. Do as you wish. At this thought, the three magnates said. Thank you, my lord. The powerful cultivators were overjoyed. They all moved to plunder the Star Origin Tree around them. However, as soon as they touched the blood-colored plants, the plants immediately withered, which made them very confused. However, at this time, the clouds around the path changed. Countless skeletons appeared and stretched out their skeletal arms to grab those powerful cultivators. These skeletal arms were extremely tough and weren't afraid of Jia Yuan's attacks. Moreover, those who were caught by the skeletons disappeared after being pulled into the surroundings. Moreover, the colorful clouds around them began to disperse, revealing a crystal-like ice layer. Upon closer inspection, a large number of skeletons and bones were sealed in the ice layer. There were even some living people who were sealed in the ice layer and were probably dead. Oh no! Everyone was shocked and started to panic. They used their martial arts to fight against the ice. However, the path was too small and the skeletons were endless. As a result, a large number of people were pulled into the ice layer and died completely. That kind of frozen wretchedness scared the people like cicadas in winter. "Let's get out of here quickly." The 99th prince also shouted. He used the people around him to attract the skeletons and shot forward. Looking ahead, the people of the imperial court were safe and sound. They had followed Lin Ling for a long time, but when they looked back, they all gasped. This time, the three magnates must have lost countless of their men. Chapter 2939. The Sacrificial Pit. Your Excellency Lin Ling, this is. The third princess was also shocked. Luckily, everyone in the imperial court obeyed Lin Ling's orders. Otherwise, there would have been countless casualties. It's a taboo because that's the sacrificial pit. Lin Ling said solemnly. It was recorded on the map of Fu Su that one had to pass by the sacrificial pit before entering the Dragon Palace. However, he didn't expect the sacrificial pit to be so terrifying. He had never seen a blood-red plant before, so he reminded everyone not to touch it. As for people saying that it was the star origin tree, he thought that it was a joke. "Ah, save me." Behind them, cries of pain could be heard. Everyone regretted not listening to Lin Ling, but it was too late. "Speed up." Lin Ling didn't care about the people behind him and gave the order. The people of the imperial court quickly ran along the path. The 99th prince and the others also caught up. When they looked back, they felt as if their hearts were being cut by knives. Many of their people had died. After following Lin Ling for a full 2 hours, the path also became wider. Everyone rested on the spot, exhausted. "Lin Ling, you've killed too many of our people. Don't you think you've gone overboard?" The left minister couldn't help but say. He hated Lin Ling to the core. "Didn't I remind you not to move around? Are your ears stuffed with donkey hair?" Lin Ling sneered and said fearlessly. The left minister couldn't refute him and could only sulk. So many people from the left minister's residence had died, but no one from the imperial court had died. Lin Ling mocked them for plugging their ears with donkey hair. This humiliation wouldn't disappear even after 10,000 years. "Let's continue. If you don't think it's safe, you can walk in front." Lin Ling ignored the left minister and looked ahead. "We'll walk in front." "Yes." The three magnate chi practitioners exchanged glances with one another and led the experts forward. Previously, they were at the bottom and suffered countless casualties. This time, they wouldn't be at the bottom even if they were beaten to death. If something really happened, then it should be the imperial dynasty. Some of them should have died. When he saw that, Lin Ling laughed coldly. He brought the people of imperial dynasty forward slowly. "There are also plants. Where exactly is this place? Why is it so strange?" After walking for an unknown period of time, a sound suddenly came from the front. This was because mysterious plants had appeared on both sides of the road again. These plants were half a meter tall and also had stars hanging from their leaves. But this time, they were afraid at a glance. Therefore, they all quickened their pace. "Lin Ling, be careful." Beside Lin Ling, the red jade tiger also saw those plants and couldn't help but remind him. However, at this moment, a bolt of lightning suddenly shot over and landed on the plants on both sides of the path, causing a large area of electric snakes to wreak havoc. This would undoubtedly trigger the outbreaks of the taboo. Someone was framing them. "Bastard!" The red jade tiger instantly roared in anger. Touching the taboo of a god was definitely going to cause a calamity to befall all living beings. The person who did this clearly wanted their imperial court to suffer great losses. "Get out of here!" The third princess also yelled out. "Wait! But at this moment, Lin Ling's slow voice floated out. He curiously stared at the plants around him and suddenly smiled. I recognize this thing, Blood Arch Star Tree. It's used to protect the soul. I didn't expect such a precious treasure to be gathered here. Your Excellency Lin Ling, what do you mean by this? Hearing this, the third princess's face changed. What time is it now? Lin Ling is actually leisurely admiring the plants around him. Is he courting death? Don't worry, it's better to be calm. I don't recognize the blood-colored plants from before, so I told you not to touch them casually. But these plants, I recognize them. The smile on Lin Ling's face became wider and wider. Someone, give those plants a slash. If you find that they are bleeding and the blood is scattered in the air, then collect them. Second brother, let me do it. Seeing Lin Ling's mysterious appearance, Indra hurriedly walked out. A halberd appeared in his hand as he prepared to attack the plants on the roadside. Your Excellency Lin Ling, it's better to be careful. The third princess was still very worried. If Lin Ling's guess was wrong, then many of them would die. Don't worry, Lin Ling, won't be wrong. Lin Ling shook his head. This kind of plant left behind by the gods, Li Xiaoyao had seen it once in the past, so he was sure. Xiao. Indra had already made his move. With a slash of his halberd, the plants on the roadside immediately started to bleed. Moreover, the blood turned into mysterious symbols and dissipated in the sky. So powerful, just like what Your Excellency Lin Ling said. Seeing this, the third princess felt extremely mystical. However, in her eyes, Lin Ling had already started to pick the plants around him. Looking carefully, these plants were the same as the blood-colored plants from before. However, there were a few more stars on the leaves. There was a moon mark and a sun mark. Lin Ling's heart was in ecstasy. This was a treasure that could nourish the soul force. However, he was also puzzled. This Wake-Up Dragon Palace should be the tomb of Wake-Up Dragon God. Why would there be so many treasures that could nourish the soul force? Could it be that Wake-Up Dragon God didn't die? Was he using these treasures to nourish his soul? If his guess was correct, this Wake-Up Dragon God was terrifying. This was because this was a dragon god that had existed since the ancient gods. There were a lot of treasures. Everyone started to pick them up one after another, each of them beaming with joy. Those idiots ran really fast. Otherwise, they would have definitely snatched these treasures. Indra laughed. One could imagine that if the three magnates were to see this scene, they would definitely vomit blood from anger. The third princess secretly wiped the sweat off her forehead and revealed a smile that could topple countries. She looked at Lin Ling and her heart was filled with admiration. After a long time, everyone had a great harvest. They slowly walked forward, talking and laughing. At this moment, in front of them, the 99th prince and the rest stopped in their tracks, all of them frowning. They still haven't caught up. Are they all dead? Oh no, if Lin Ling is dead and we still haven't found the entrance of the Dragon Palace, then we have come here for nothing. Damn it, Mother Laine, who told you to plot against Lin Ling? The Prime Minister and the Left Minister were also worried. However, at this moment, a laugh could be heard. Thank you for your concern. However, even if all of you are dead, I, Lin Ling, will not die. A large number of figures appeared on the misty path. The person in the lead was Lin Ling. After him, the people from the imperial court also appeared. Upon closer inspection, not only were they not dead, they were also not injured at all. Most importantly, they were in high spirits as if they had encountered something joyous. At this moment, the three magnates were tongue-tied. You didn't encounter those skeletons? Someone asked with a frown. You're talking about this, right? Lin Ling waved his right hand, and those plants with leaves that fluttered like stars appeared. Immediately, the Prime Minister and the rest of the experts were frightened and frantically retreated. Chapter 2940. Enter wake-suppressing Dragon Palace. Hearing this, the Prime Minister and the other experts looked as if they had seen a ghost, because the thing in Lin Ling's hand was exactly the same as what they had seen before. But Lin Ling and the others were fine, while they had suffered countless casualties. How was this possible? You guys have been stalling for so long. Could it be that you've been collecting these treasures? 99th Prince frowned. That's right. Naturally, we can't miss such a precious treasure. I wanted to call you guys along, but you guys ran too fast. It's such a pity that we missed such a treasure. Lin Ling shook his head regretfully. Crack crack. Hearing this, the leaders of the various factions were stunned. Then, they trembled with anger. The left minister's gaze was cold as he roared, how could this be? Why is it that we've suffered so many casualties while you've obtained such treasures? I don't know either. Maybe it's a matter of character. Lin Ling said with a shrug. That regretful look on his face made the left minister and the others almost want to kill Lin Ling. Of course, this was just a thought. And this feeling of wanting to kill but not daring to do so was even worse than eating dog shit. Who told you to walk in front? Perhaps if you stay behind, those treasures will also be yours. But this time, are you still going to walk in front? Lin Ling said again. The most infuriating thing was that his expression was very calm, without any hint of sarcasm. And this kind of attitude was undoubtedly the biggest mockery to others. You walk in front. The 99th Crown Prince and the others roared in unison. Actually, it doesn't matter who walks in front, because we've reached the gate. Lin Ling had already stepped forward, passing through the hazy fog. His voice floated out at the same time. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone's expression changed, and they all rushed through the fog. Up ahead, an enormous palace appeared, and a tombstone hung from the ground. Tomb of the Fusu Dragon God. Do not disturb it. This huge dragon palace was made of grey rocks. It was hidden in the fog and was extremely mysterious. However, it was silent and gave people a sense of oppression. At the same time, a huge rock was blocking the entrance of the dragon palace. It was motionless, as if it had existed since the era of the gods. That's the dragon sealing rock. Break it and you can enter the palace. Lin Ling's eyes flashed as he pointed at the huge rock in front of the dragon palace. This was recorded on the map. I'll do it. Hearing that, an old man smiled joyfully and took the initiative to attack. His strength was at the 6th level of the martial immortal realm. However, when his attack landed on the rock did not move in the slightest. Instead, a terrifying power was reflected back and directly killed that old man. What's going on? Everyone was shocked. The dragon sealing rock is not easy. Only Lin Ling was used to it. This was the reason why he needed the magnates to join him. He knew that the imperial court alone wouldn't be able to break the dragon sealing stone. The 99 crown princes also knew why Lin Ling had invited them. However, the most important thing right now was to break the dragon sealing stone. Once the entrance was opened, they wouldn't have to be threatened by Lin Ling anymore. In fact, they had been holding back for a long time. 18 Imperial Dragons, attack. The 99th Prince decisively ordered the experts of the Imperial Dragon Court to take action. These 18 Imperial Dragons were all at the 8th layer of the martial immortal realm. Although they looked like children, short and young, they were all experts who had lived for countless years. Their strength was monstrous. When they attacked, it was as if they stirred up chaos. However, when their attacks landed on the dragon sealing rock, it only made the rock move slightly. On the contrary, 18 terrifying forces were reflected back at him. Retreat. The expressions of the 18 experts changed drastically, and they used their powerful speed, wanting to avoid the feedback force. However, the forces were extremely mysterious. They did not attack others. Instead, they chased after them, causing them to be seriously injured. How terrifying! At this moment, a feeling of insignificance rose in everyone's hearts. They were the strongest experts in Qingzhou. However, the forces left behind by the gods could easily kill them. This was only the power of one of the 8 gods. As for the 8 gods, they could imagine how powerful they were. They probably had the power to suppress the entire 9 states. Even Lin Ling's expression was solemn. He was even more curious about the secrets of the universe. Attack from 8 directions. Qian triple link, Kun 6 break, Zhenyang bowl, Zhen overturning bowl, Li Zhong void, Kan Zhong full, Dui upper lack, Sun lower break. Lin Ling did not care about the difference between friend and foe. If he could not break the dragon sealing rock, he would not be able to enter the dragon palace. Hearing that, the 99th prince and the others understood. They ordered the experts to attack according to Lin Ling's instructions. Third princess, let the imperial court attack too. Otherwise, we're still lacking strength. Lin Ling said to the third princess. Hearing that, the experts of the imperial court attacked too. At that moment, the ancient martial arts of Qingzhou exploded. In terms of age, Lin Ling was the leader of the younger generation in Qingzhou. However, in terms of strength, many people present were stronger than him. Especially the experts in the later stage of the martial immortal realm. He was still unable to defeat them. The powerful force of the universe. All kinds of ancient martial arts caused the dragon sealing rock to tremble and cracks began to appear. Lin Ling also saw that most of the people present had divine bodies and no desolate bodies. Of course, there might be experts with desolate bodies hidden among them. For example, the last 4 people of the 9 heavens. Furthermore, he saw that the 99th prince, the prime minister, and the left minister did not use their full strength. They were obviously hiding their strength. However, that was enough. Under the attacks of the 4 giants, the dragon sealing rock finally exploded. The deafening roar of a dragon was heard. A terrifying and ferocious dragon rushed out from the gate of the dragon palace. It was accompanied by the heads of the various auspicious creatures, such as the silver deer, the blue phoenix, the wood qilin, and other divine creatures. In an instant, ominous aura, divine light, and all kinds of opposing forces of the universe fused together and formed a terrifying tornado. At that moment, the place where the gods slept seemed to have been disturbed. Third princess, enter the dragon palace immediately. Otherwise, you'll be in danger. Yes. Lin Ling's eyes flickered. He recalled what was recorded on the map. The dragon sealing rock was broken and the dragon god was revived. Enter. Enter. Upon hearing that, the third princess immediately gave the order. Everyone from the imperial court rushed towards the dragon palace. Big brother, be careful. Brother. Lin Ling exhorted and also rushed forward. At that moment, the 99th prince and the rest originally wanted to kill Lin Ling. However, when they saw the people from the imperial court rush into the dragon palace, they immediately panicked. They were afraid that they had touched upon some taboo of the gods. All of them took action. Although they were the strongest in Qingzhou, they were like ants when faced with the taboo of the gods' era. After Lin Ling entered the dragon palace, he immediately discovered a large number of entrances. He ran towards one of the entrances and disappeared. When the people behind him entered, they were all stunned. There were so many entrances. Left with no choice, they could only choose a random entrance and proceed forward. What kind of great fortune they would encounter next would all depend on their luck. Chapter 2941. Fighting the Dragon Soul. I'm finally in. Lin Ling couldn't help but smile. He stretched his limbs and finally relaxed. The resuscitating dragon palace was just one of the divine palaces in the 8-god celestial palace, but it was already so terrifying. One could imagine how difficult it would be to reach the 6th and 7th levels. Therefore, he knew that the resuscitating dragon palace was the final destination of this trip to the 8-god celestial palace. However, there was a treasure in the resuscitating dragon palace, the dragon soul. He had come straight for this item. Because this was the 4th dantian that he had prepared. Currently, he had reached a new level in the cultivation of essence, chi, and spirit. The only flaw was his fire element talent and cultivation realm. Therefore, he began to work hard for the 4th dantian. Roar! At this moment, a deafening roar came from the path ahead. A huge ancient dragon appeared in front of him. This dragon seemed to be condensed from smoke, but it was vivid and lifelike. The moment it roared, Lin Ling felt the blood in his body boil. My luck is too bad. I just came in and I already met a dragon. Lin Ling's mouth twitched and his face turned serious. Roar! The huge ancient dragon flew over, covering the sky with a terrifying aura. Realm-devouring beast. Lin Ling also exploded with all his strength and punched out. However, it was useless. The huge ancient dragon seemed to be illusory and wasn't attacked by any realm essence. Instead, it swept its claws and 5 bloody wounds appeared on Lin Ling's chest. This is too unfair. It can attack me, but I can't attack it. Lin Ling was shocked. He scanned with his 10,000 elephant demon eyes and realized that the dragon wasn't real. It was formed by a soul. The most important thing was that after Lin Ling's 3 dantians fused together, his boundary essence surged and actually attracted 3 giant ancient dragons. These ancient dragons seemed to be able to pass through the dragon palace at will. Lin Ling wasn't sure just how many ancient dragons there were in the dragon palace. As for the 3 new dragons, one was an ice dragon, one was a fire dragon, and the last one was a lightning dragon. Each of them was more terrifying than the Azure Dragon King. World Mountain Fist. Lin Ling hurriedly made the first move. He gathered all of his power, and with the power of the World Mountain's essence, his left fist could be said to be extremely ferocious. However, that punch directly pierced through a sky ice dragon, unable to attack the other party at all. On the contrary, the firmament ice dragon spat out a mouthful of universal frost essence, directly freezing Lin Ling. Bang! Soon, Lin Ling broke out of the ice, his face pale. Little Kunlun. He roared angrily, and the vines on his left arm appeared like dragons, forming a vortex as he whipped one of the fire primordial dragons. Pa! However, the vines were also emptied. These ancient dragons were simply formless and colorless. Not good. After little Kunlun was free, a lightning armor strange dragon behind him had already swept over. Its huge dragon tail swept out fiercely, and it could probably destroy thousands of worlds. At this moment, Lin Ling laughed bitterly. He didn't expect that he would be killed by these dragon souls when he had the Qin Prefecture's overlord under his control. However, when the dragon tail touched the scabbard on Lin Ling's back, the scabbard floated up, and a strange aura spread out. The headless old man appeared and slashed with his sword. The sword light was like water. The lightning armor strange dragon's tail was cut off by the sword. This sudden turn of events shocked Lin Ling. This scabbard was indeed in existence with the sharpness of demonic qi. At the same time, a cold sword quietly appeared in the scabbard. It floated out of the scabbard and flew towards Lin Ling. Tyrannical Song Sword. Lin Ling's eyes narrowed as he stared at the sword flying towards him. One had to know that after the tyrannical song sword was sealed by the scabbard, he had been unable to use it. However, this time, the tyrannical song sword actually took the initiative to leave the scabbard. Subconsciously, Lin Ling held the sword, and a strange power appeared in his heart. Moreover, he realized that all the power in his body was surging towards the sword. The sword was absorbing his power. Tyrannical song sword, wake up. Lin Ling's expression changed drastically. If this continued, all his power would be sucked dry. Moreover, he realized that the tyrannical song sword seemed to be in a deep slumber. It did not feel like a comrade like it did in the past. However, his shouts were of no use. On the contrary, his physical strength, realm essence, and soul power were continuously being sucked into the tyrannical song sword. Finally, the sword leaped up. On the tip of the sword, a sharp demonic chi flashed. It was very dazzling, and it actually froze the 4 ancient dragons in the sky. At the same time, Lin Ling had a feeling in his heart. He had to use his sword. "Break for me." A cold shout floated out from Lin Ling's mouth. He slashed out with his sword, and the sword light flashed. It was dazzling, but it was not huge. However, when it slashed towards the sky, 3 of the ancient dragons in the sky were cut in half. This sword was earth-shattering. Plop. At the same time, Lin Ling powerlessly fell to the ground. This was because that sword had absorbed all of his strength. His essence, energy, and soul power, other than his soul power, had disappeared without a trace. He did not even have the strength to stand up. What kind of sword was sealed in this scabbard in the past? Why did this sword consume all of my strength? Lin Ling's heart was pounding, but his eyes gradually focused. This was because he realized that there was still an ancient dragon in the sky. At this moment it was roaring ferociously and pouncing towards him. And now, he did not even have the strength to activate the time and space divine steel. The situation was instantly on the verge of death. However, at this moment of life and death, Lin Ling calmed down. Everything around him seemed to slow down, and it became a world of gray. This was an extremely strange feeling. The myriad demonic eyes has increased along with my strength. Right now, it allows me to think in an instant. Lin Ling was not surprised by this feeling. This was because Li Xiaoyao also had this feeling in the past. These ancient dragons, other than the scabbard, do not fear any other power. This is too heaven-defying. However, there has never been an invincible existence in the universe. They must have a weakness. Oh right, the sword that killed 3 ancient dragons before had the power of demonic sword energy, but there is another possibility. It is soul power. These ancient dragons should be dead. After millions of years, they should have died. However, the plants outside the palace nourished their souls, allowing their souls to never be extinguished. This means that these are real dragon souls. If I want to break them, the only way is to use soul power. Lin Ling instantly pondered. Everything in front of him began to regain color. Previously, he seemed to be thinking slowly, but in reality, to the outside world, it was just a breath of time. However, at this time, Lin Ling had already activated all of his soul power, forming an invisible soul shockwave that rushed towards the ancient dragon in the sky. Fortunately, his soul power was strong, so the scabbard did not absorb all of it. Otherwise, he would have already fainted, not to mention activating his soul power. As the soul power surged out, Lin Ling was in a semi-conscious state. However, he kept shouting in his heart that he must succeed. Fortunately, he guessed right. After colliding with Lin Ling's soul power, the last dragon's soul in the sky exploded with a bang, turning into countless soul fragments and disappearing into the void. Seeing this, Lin Ling finally smiled. Chapter 2942. Snatching Treasures. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Ling finally woke up, but he had a splitting headache. Obviously, he had used too much soul power this time, causing him to be extremely tired. After all, soul power was harder to recover than realm essence. Oh right, those star plants. Lin Ling suddenly thought of something, quickly sat down cross-legged, and devoured those star plants. His soul power was instantly nourished, gradually recovering, and even more condensed. After that, Lin Ling took out the treasures on him and continued to refine them. The lost physical strength and realm essence also gradually recovered by more than 50%. This wake-up dragon palace is too dangerous. Standing up, Lin Ling continued to move forward. After that, he did not dare to be too ostentatious, and moved forward carefully. Not long after, a crossroad began to appear in front of him, and a large number of corpses were lying there, all wearing different colored armor. Even though they had been dead for a long time, they were still dignified like gods. These corpses were obviously experts from the era of gods. At the same time, a figure was searching around the corpses. Unfortunately, those armors shattered with a touch, and too much time had passed, and the spiritual energy was exhausted. After searching for a long time, finally, that person found 3 white tokens. The other treasures are all broken, only these 3 tokens are still as good as new. These must be extreme treasures, this is my great change ape's good fortune. That's why it said that good intentions are rewarded. That figure could not help but laugh at the sky. Great change ape, hand over those 3 treasures. However, at this moment, an old voice sounded like a nightingale, and several figures walked over. Among them, an old man had a fierce look in his eyes, and his entire body was as thin as a monkey. I was wondering who it was, so it's Flowing Earth Old Monster, what? You want the treasures in my hands? That figure turned around, and immediately said disdainfully, and the 3 tokens in his hand were also kept by him. Great change ape, I know you're very powerful, but those who see the treasures have a share. Don't you think you're too greedy to want to take them all for yourself? Among those people, one of them also spoke. If you want these treasures, then let's see if you have the strength. The great change ape sneered, and a fierce aura burst out, and a white ancient ape appeared behind him, pounding its chest, and roaring. Let me test your strength. The old man was not afraid in the slightest and also erupted with his full strength. This person was at the 6th level of the martial immortal realm. His strength was great, and the power of the universe surged like an ocean. Since the great change ape was a 3rd level martial immortal, he chose to risk it all. Luminous Earth Old Monster, one of the magnates of the Blue Flame Army, actually made a move. My opponent is the great change ape, one of the 9 great heavens of the Green Province, ranked 6th. His strength is not weak either. No, he's currently ranked 7th because Lin Ling and Sakura are above him. Unknowingly, many people had gathered in the surroundings, and all of them began to discuss spiritedly. Rumble. At this moment, the 2 experts had already clashed. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged millions of blows. The Flowing Earth Old Monster became more and more shocked as he fought. He was 3 realms higher than the great change ape, but he could not suppress the latter. It seemed that all the titled battle pet warriors were freaks. It's over. While he was still in shock, the great change ape roared, and a huge ancient ape appeared. There were actually 3 of them, as if their heads were in the sky and their feet were on the ground. They transformed into 3 punches and smashed down. Their powerful talent was also displayed. They actually had a 9th grade divine body. Puff! The Flowing Earth Old Monster spat out a mouthful of blood. Unable to withstand the ferocity of the great change ape, he roared, I don't want your treasure anymore. It's too late. However, the great change ape shook his head coldly and still used his killing move. In the end, he killed the ancient senior of the Blue Flame Army. So powerful. Seeing this, the surrounding people were like cicadas in winter. They did not dare to snatch the great change ape's treasure anymore. The treasure is here. Who else wants it? The great change ape glanced at the crowd and said indifferently. Unfortunately, wherever he looked, everyone lowered their heads and remained silent. I want it. However, at this moment, a lazy voice suddenly rang out. Who is it? Do you want to die? Hearing this, the great change ape's expression became ferocious. There was actually someone who dared to provoke him at a time like this? He silently turned around and followed the voice. However, in the next moment, his ferocious expression vanished and was replaced by bitterness. On the misty path ahead, a slender figure slowly walked over. He wore a blue robe and carried an ancient sword. He was unforgettable. What's wrong with the great change ape? He was arrogant and unrestrained before, so why does he reveal such an expression now? The crowd became curious, and when they saw who it was, they gasped. It was the imperial court's Lin Ling. This was also a person who could shake the entire Qing province with just a move of his foot. Great change ape, since I, Lin Ling, have taken a fancy to it, then it belongs to me. Are you going to hand it over or not? At this moment, Lin Ling strode forward, causing the great change ape to grit its teeth tightly. If it was in the past, it would feel disdain towards Lin Ling. However, not long ago, Lin Ling had shaken the entire Azure prefecture. His strength was obvious to all. However, when it thought of the precious jade tablet, the great change ape still chose to take the risk. Lin Ling, don't go too far. You and I are both heavenly blessings. If we really fight, it's not certain who will win or lose. What's not certain about? If we really fight, you'll only lose. Hearing this, Lin Ling replied indifferently, and his tone was filled with disdain. They're both heavenly blessings, but the great change ape seems to be very afraid of Lin Ling. Of course, Lin Ling doesn't even fear the 81st prince. The great change ape is naturally lacking. The scene before them caused many people to whisper amongst themselves. Lin Ling, let's fight. At this point, the great change ape couldn't give away the treasure with both hands. After all, losing the treasure wasn't a big deal, but losing face was something he couldn't face. So, it went all out. Roar! The three ancient white apes appeared again. They were ferocious and domineering, and their roars soared into the sky. Stubborn. Lin Ling also attacked. The realm-devouring beast appeared, and his three dantians merged. His left fist surged out like a meteor. Great change ape, you said last time that you didn't use your full strength. Now, you have a chance. Lin Ling, this time, I'll make you accept your defeat wholeheartedly. The two heavenly gifted powerhouses were like two ancient vicious beasts, crazily clashing against each other. At the moment of impact, the surrounding ancient powerhouses were blown away by the powerful astral winds. The weaker ones were so shocked that they spat out blood. Rumble. The great change ape and Lin Ling exchanged blows. At first, it still had a ferocious expression, but gradually, the corners of its eyes twitched, and its face was filled with a bitter smile. This was because Lin Ling's punch was too terrifying. It was boundless like the sea, and unstoppable. This guy is clearly stronger than when he was in the tree hole. The great change ape already knew that it wasn't Lin Ling's match. However, it couldn't put down its pride, so it wanted to use its full strength to make Lin Ling fear it. However, it was useless. Bang, bang, bang. It retreated, unable to block Lin Ling's punch. This was because Lin Ling's left fist hid the essence of the realm mountain. Chapter 2943. Do you submit? That gaze directly caused the great ape to tremble with fear. It was like a rabbit that had encountered a ferocious tiger, and it was blasted back once more by this punch. Great ape, when I defeated you last time, you said you didn't use your full strength. Now, do you submit? Lin Ling took a step forward, his fist like a torrential river. That step made the ape's courage shatter. How could it resist? It kept nodding as it retreated. Submit, 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 I submit. Lin Ling still stepped forward, his fist unparalleled. Great ape, I stole your treasure. Do you submit? Submit, submit, I submit wholeheartedly. The ape's legs went soft, and it fell to the ground. Today, you lost to me again. Do you submit? Lin Ling's aura was domineering, suppressing the ape like a giant. 10,000 submit. The ape kowtowed like pounding garlic. It had no choice but to submit. Since you submit, then I'll spare your life. From today onwards, you can join the imperial court and be my subordinate. Lin Ling's fist stopped in front of the ape's face. The wind blew, making the ape's hair flutter. Its face was very pale. I'm willing, I'm very willing. The ape kowtowed again. The youth in front of it looked down at it as if he was looking at an ant. The old monsters' faces froze. The Great Change Ape was one of the 9 great celestials of the Qing province. There was no doubt about its strength. Previously, when it had obtained the 3 jade tokens, there were some old monsters who were unwilling to give up and tried to snatch them. In the end, they were directly killed by the Great Change Ape, shocking everyone present. However, after Lin Ling arrived, his tyrannical fist made the Great Change Ape directly kneel in submission. Most importantly, there was no life or death battle in the entire process. It was a one-sided suppression. As one of the 9 heavens of Qing province, the gap between the ape and Lin Ling was too big. What about you guys? Do you submit? Lin Ling looked at everyone calmly. That gaze was like he was looking down on the world. Submit, we submit. The magnates and old monsters all knelt down, their eyes trembling in fear. Lin Ling faintly smiled and immediately strode forward. This was a crossroad. He recalled the route recorded on the map and chose a direction to walk in. The crowd stared at his back for a long time without saying anything. As for the great ape of transformation, he laughed bitterly repeatedly. His luck was too bad, to actually encounter Lin Ling. Damn it, I wasted 3 treasures for nothing. He gave himself a ruthless slap in the face. He was angry and regretful. In Qing province, he was not afraid of millions of experts. There were only a limited number of people that he feared the most, and Lin Ling was one of them. At this moment, Lin Ling was walking on the main road. The fog in front of him was hazy, as if there was no end in sight. In Lin Ling's hand, 3 jade plates appeared. He carefully observed them. The 3 jade plates were of different colors. They were red, blue, and yellow. They looked very normal on the surface, but they emitted a mysterious qi. To know that even though there were countless treasures in the resuscitating dragon palace, too much time had passed. Most of the treasures had disappeared with the wind. However, these 3 jade plates were still preserved. This meant that they were not ordinary. The 3 jade plates were carved with ancient runes. However, Lin Ling specialized in enchantments. Therefore, he recognized 3 words from the runes. They were strength, speed, and defense. 4th realm extreme treasure, and it is a one-time use treasure. Lin Ling checked it again and understood what was going on. These 3 jade plates had miraculous powers. For example, crushing the red jade plate could increase one's attacking power, the blue one could increase one's speed, and the yellow one could increase one's defense. As for how big the increase was, Lin Ling guessed that it was not small. However, even though the jade plates were powerful, they had their flaws. They could only last for the time it took for an incense stick to burn. After keeping the jade plates, Lin Ling continued walking. After passing by a few crossroads, he realized that the resuscitating dragon palace was like a maze. If he did not have the map, he would have been dizzy. However, there were definitely many treasures in the other roads. Whoever could get them would have to depend on their luck. Fight! He continued walking and reached a new crossroad. There was an intense battle in front of him. It seemed like someone had obtained some kind of treasure. This caused all the magnates to fight for it. As expected, Lin Ling saw a tombstone by the side of the road. On the tombstone, the words were blurred. However, beside the tombstone, there were a large number of treasure chests shining with light. As for the two sides that were fighting, one of them was a familiar face. It was the 76th Prince. The other experts were from the Imperial Censor Dragon Court. The other side was also a familiar face. It was Meng Lu, Xian Linglong, and the 8th Jew Lord. Of course, there were only 3 of them. They could not stop the attack of the 76th Prince and the other experts. You came at the right time. After seeing the situation clearly, Lin Ling couldn't help but laugh. At this time, the roars in front of him continued. I, the 76th Prince, am the chosen one. In these treasure chests, I see 3 Son of Heaven's essences. This is a gift from the heavens. The 76th Prince was obviously very excited. It was as if all the treasures belonged to him. Meng Lu, Xian Linglong, seeing that you are from the Black Warrior Divine Manor, you can scram. I will spare your lives. An old man said indifferently. He, they are really pitiful. These treasures were found by them first, but in the end, they met us. Another person said. Seeing this, Xian Linglong frowned. She suddenly looked at Meng Lu and said, leave this place. We are not their match. That may not be the case. Meng Lu sneered. Suddenly, powerful world essence erupted, scattering the clouds in the sky. 3rd stage martial immortal realm. How is that possible? Sensing the surging world essence, the 76th Prince and the others sucked in a breath of cold air. If they remembered correctly, Meng Lu was only at the 1st stage of the martial immortal realm not long ago. In such a short time, this monster actually broke through 2 stages. My strength can fight against a 6th stage martial immortal. You want to snatch my treasures? You are too inexperienced. Meng Lu's strength had advanced by leaps and bounds because of a fortuitous encounter. Die. He activated his mysterious talent. The demonic god's tomb appeared, and an ancient elegy was sung. Attack! Attack! The 76th Prince and the others couldn't give up on the treasures, so they all attacked. Seeing this, Lord 8th also joined in. For a time, the two sides were locked in a fierce battle. In the distance, Lin Ling's eyes flickered. It seemed that the heavens were fair. If he, Lin Ling, could obtain treasures, others could too. Meng Lu had obviously obtained a great fortune. Although the current Meng Lu was weaker than Lin Ling knew that he wasn't that much weaker. He was much better than before. Rumble. The collision between the two sides seemed to cause the heavens to collapse and the earth to split. The Dragon Palace was stirred. Meng Lu's origin was indeed worthy of being one of the 9 provinces 10 vicious. He was extremely powerful, blocking a large number of experts by himself. As for Lord 8th, he only blocked 3 of them. From this, one could see the difference between the two. Meng Lu is the number 1 genius below Lin Ling and Sakura. Lord 8th couldn't help but sigh. Then, he smiled. With a monster like Meng Lu here, the 76th Prince and the others definitely couldn't take advantage of him. Chapter 2944. The Mysterious Old Man. Meng Lu, I admit that I underestimated you. However, don't be too smug. Seeing that the situation was not right, the 76th Prince suddenly shouted angrily. What can you do if I'm smug? Your people have been stopped by me and Lord 8th. We only have one person left, Xian Linglong. She can take away all the treasures. Meng Lu said casually as he defended himself against the experts. Do you think I don't exist? The 76th Prince laughed. His words made Meng Lu frown. In his subconscious mind, the 76th Prince was a piece of trash. It was only because he had the Azure Emperor's bloodline that people respected him. In addition, the 76th Prince had been humiliated by Lin Ling time and time again. Therefore, Meng Lu looked down on him even more. I'm the son of the Azure Emperor. The 76th prince put his finger in his mouth and bit it lightly. Then, using the blood from his finger, he drew something in front of him. Bloody words appeared quietly. In just an instant, his cultivation level increased greatly and reached the 7th level of the martial immortal realm. The Azure Emperor's bloodline. Meng Lu's expression turned serious. The 76th prince had activated the bloodline left by the Azure Emperor and greatly increased his strength. Now you know fear. Weren't you very happy before? The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. The 76th prince's aura increased greatly. If the Azure Emperor arrived, the scales of victory would tip in his favor. This made him very excited. As for Lord 8 and Xian Linglong, their expressions were extremely ugly. Very good. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. I, Lin Ling, am here. However, just as everyone was thinking, an indifferent voice suddenly sounded. Then, a flaming fist came from afar. Rumble. Everywhere it passed, 3 of the opponents that Meng Lu and Lord 8 were fighting were killed by the fist. Even a 6th-level martial immortal expert could not block the fist. Then, a slender figure appeared in front of everyone. It was Lin Ling. Lin Ling. Meng Lu was the first to react. His pupils kept trembling. Having reached the 3rd level of the martial immortal realm, he was confident that he could defeat someone at the 6th level of the martial immortal realm. The gap between him and Lin Ling was not that great. However, Lin Ling seemed to have increased his strength again. A mere 1st-level martial immortal had actually killed a 6th-level martial immortal as easily as chopping vegetables. On the other hand, Lord 8 and Xian Linglong were delighted. In their hearts, so long as Lin Ling appeared, it was as if nothing could stop him. It's you again, Lin Ling. Were you my nemesis in my previous life? Why is it you again? Seeing Lin Ling's untimely appearance, the 76th prince was clearly enraged. He had almost obtained those treasures, but in the end, Lin Ling had appeared. Moreover, he had appeared in a domineering manner, causing all his wishful thinking to go down the drain. Moreover, this was not the first time. He had already been humiliated by Lin Ling several times. Why can't it be me? Lin Ling looked at the 76th prince calmly. You're pissing me off. The 76th prince roared hysterically. Lin Ling had humiliated him time and time again. Now, he was still so calm. It was as if he, the 76th prince, was a dog that was born to be humiliated by Lin Ling. After all, he was the son of Emperor Qing. 76th prince, let me tell you. You'd better get the hell out of my sight. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Lin Ling ignored the 76th prince's anger. He glanced at the sky and said calmly. This was because he realized that the battle here seemed to have alerted the Dragon Palace's taboo. Many dragon souls were coming from afar. Therefore, he did not want to complicate matters. The treasures were more important. Then, he walked to the side of the tombstone, opened one of the treasure chests, and wanted to collect the treasures inside. The 76th prince had never seen such an arrogant person who ignored him and openly snatched the treasures. In Qingzhou, other than the leaders of the major powers, no one dared to provoke him like this. However, just as Lin Ling was about to collect the treasures, a jade-white arm suddenly pressed down on his hand, preventing him from collecting the treasures. This sudden turn of events undoubtedly caused everyone to be greatly alarmed. Lin Ling was very powerful. He was definitely one of the strongest in Qingzhou. However, there was someone who dared to attack Lin Ling and stop Lin Ling. Most importantly, no one noticed this person's arrival at all. It was as if he had been hiding in the surroundings all along. Upon closer inspection, it was an old man with a face as yellow as wax. He wore very ordinary clothes and was only a level 4 martial immortal. However, Lin Ling's eyes flickered. His 10,000 mammoth demonic eyes discovered that this old man was not as simple as he seemed. Moreover, although he was only a level 4 martial immortal, his combat strength was definitely beyond his expectations. One must know that the reason why Lin Ling was able to kill a 6th level martial immortal was because his opponent's talent and universal power were not strong enough. If he encountered someone with a level 10 divine body, Lin Ling would have a hard time defeating him. If he encountered someone with more than 50% of his strength, it would be difficult for him to defeat him. This also meant that this old man was definitely very strong in a certain field. "You're stopping me?" Lin Ling said calmly. "It's rare for you to be able to remain calm in front of me," the old man said. "Although you're strong, you're not strong enough to make me fear you." Lin Ling shook his head and said calmly. "I don't believe in evil. Lin Ling, there's an emperor's life essence in this treasure chest. Why don't you try and see if you can get it?" The old man still pressed down on Lin Ling's hand and said calmly. However, his words were mixed with a powerful domineering aura. "The treasure is right in front of you. Can you, Lin Ling, get it?" "I don't believe in evil either," Lin Ling retorted. Behind him, the tyrannical song sword floated up and floated towards his other hand with its scabbard. Seeing this, the old man smiled faintly. He also made a move, but no one could see through his move. His arm grabbed towards the scabbard. "This sword is extraordinary. It's mine." The old man's eyes were filled with joy. Lin Ling sensed the old man's move and was shocked again. This old man's strength was stronger than he had imagined. However, he also sneered, "My sword isn't that easy to take. No one in Qingzhou can say that to me." The old man shook his head in disdain. His arm was like a dragon's claw as he suddenly grabbed the sword. However, as soon as his fair palm touched the scabbard, a cold aura rolled out like a demonic cloud. Oh no! The old man had obviously underestimated the scabbard. His body disappeared in an instant. At the same time, a sword ray flashed past where he was standing before, but the old man dodged it. Even Lin Ling was surprised because this was the first time he saw the scabbard sword being dodged. "Young man, your sword is quite powerful. I admit that I underestimated you." The old man had already appeared on the other side, and his expression became serious. "I'm sorry, but I won. The Emperor's life essence has been taken by me." Chapter 2945. The 9 Heavens of Qin Province. Previously, he was confident that Lin Ling wouldn't be able to obtain any treasures, so he spoke arrogantly. However, Lin Ling had succeeded. With his strength, he actually lost to Lin Ling. This made him feel disbelief. "Alright, you don't have to put on an act. Reveal your true form. Be careful not to embarrass yourself in front of me, Lin Ling." Lin Ling put away the Son of Heaven's mandate and looked at the old man indifferently. These words shocked the old man once again because Lin Ling was too calm. Facing such a strong opponent, he didn't panic at all. "How did you see through it?" the old man said with a frown. "Although I don't know what kind of cultivation technique you've cultivated to change your appearance and aura, but please, if you want to put on an act, let's go all the way. Don't you think you've revealed a huge flaw?" Lin Ling said with a smile. "Flaw? Could it be that you've seen through my cultivation technique? You're thinking too much. It's your hand. An old man like you, whose hand would be as white as jade." When Lin Ling's last sentence fell, the old man's entire body trembled. Only then did he realize that he had indeed overlooked this huge flaw. Sometimes, the simpler something is, the easier it is to forget. A true ancient martial artist shouldn't make such a small mistake, so I estimate that you shouldn't be that old. Lin Ling said again. His words were like a sword, piercing straight into the old man's heart. "Let me guess again. You're not that old, but you have such strength." There are definitely not many people in Qing province. Apart from the people I don't know, the only people I know are the remaining 4 heavens. You should be one of the 4 most mysterious people in Qing province. Lin Ling's words didn't stop until they shocked the old man to death. The old man was stunned, as if he had been struck by thunder. He, I've long heard of Lin Ling's great name. Seeing you today, you're indeed extraordinary. After being exposed by Lin Ling, the old man no longer hid his identity. It was as if he had shed off a layer of skin. Then, a bright light shone and a slender figure walked out from it. This was actually a rare beauty. She looked to be around 20 years old and wore a pink palace dress with hundreds of flowers. Between her thin clothes, her twin peaks were full, and her limpid eyes seemed to be able to see through everything in the world. No matter how one looked at it, she was a beauty that could captivate even birds and beasts. Wow, I didn't expect this expert to be so beautiful. The 76th prince could not help but speak. Pa! However, in the next moment, the crisp sound of a slap resounded across his face. It was that woman. You, hit me. The 76th prince immediately roared. He, 76th prince, if you keep talking nonsense, I might even kill you. The woman smiled, but her words were extremely cold. The 76th prince did not dare to speak again. He sensed a familiar aura from that woman. It was the Azure Thearka's aura. The woman smiled at Lin Ling and was about to speak, but at that moment, another person arrived at the crossroad. When she saw everyone, her expression changed slightly. Your Excellency Lin Ling. The person took the lead to greet Lin Ling. She was the 3rd princess. Of course, she looked more at the woman and finally said solemnly, Imperial concubine sure of the 9 heavens of Qingzhou? 3rd princess, long time no see. The woman smiled and nodded. She obviously knew the 3rd princess. Imperial concubine sure. She's Imperial concubine sure. The 76th prince was stunned. Then, his face was filled with horror. The old monsters next to him also opened their mouths wide. Imperial concubine sure is rumored to be the most beautiful fairy in Qingzhou. She is also the most beautiful woman in the world of mortals. She is proficient in the 4 arts of zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting. She once made the Azure the Arch forget to return. Someone exclaimed. Imperial concubine sure was a very mysterious person. No one knew where she came from. However, some people knew that she opened a brothel in Qingzhou called Smoky Poetry House. Many indomitable experts of Qingzhou went there because of its reputation, including the Azure the Arch. Ordinary experts were also curious about Smoky Poetry House. However, after searching for thousands of years, they could not find that brothel. The famous Imperial concubine sure has also entered the 8 gods' heavenly palace. Then, your pursuer, the heavenly court's absolute killer tiger, should be here as well. The 3rd princess said with a faint smile after calming down. Him. I don't know. Maybe he didn't come. Or maybe he is hiding among the big shots. Shi Fei covered her mouth and smiled. Her gentle movements carried an aura that could topple cities. Her full chest emitted a strange light, causing the blood of the surrounding old monsters to boil. Some of the weaker middle-aged men even began to bleed from their 7 orifices. This Imperial concubine sure was simply a peerless enchantress. Lin Ling's eyes flickered. He realized that Imperial concubine sure's talent was very mysterious. It was mixed with a kind of seduction technique. This kind of seduction technique was the best among all seduction techniques. It was as if it was left behind by a god. It had to be said that Lin Ling also admitted that Imperial concubine sure was a peerless enchantress. Lin Ling, how about another round? Take out another treasure and try. Imperial concubine sure was obviously not interested in the people around her. Instead, she was very interested in Lin Ling. When her words fell, the the third princess's expression changed slightly. She did not expect imperial concubine Shi to provoke Lin Ling. The others were the same. They were secretly shocked. If imperial concubine Shi did not announce her identity, they would think that Lin Ling would definitely win. However, after knowing that imperial concubine Shi was one of the four most mysterious of the 9 heavens of Qingzhou, they knew that the current Lin Ling could not compare to her. One had to know that the four most mysterious of the 9 heavens of Qingzhou were people that even Emperor Qing had to give face to. The third princess was just about to remind Lin Ling to ignore imperial concubine Shi, but Lin Ling had already spoken. He said very matter-of-factly, "Isn't this a very simple matter?" The attitude of his words was as simple as eating. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Even imperial concubine Shi was the same. She could not help but laugh. "What if you fail? Gamble? Sorry, I'm really not interested. However, I never thought that I would fail," Lin Ling said with a smile. Although his smile was calm, it was mixed with a domineering aura. "Ignorant, trash, what do you know?" When the 76th prince heard Lin Ling's words, he immediately cursed angrily. In his opinion, although Lin Ling was powerful, if he wanted to compete with imperial concubine Shi, he was simply overestimating himself and seeking death. "I've suddenly changed my mind. If I win, all the treasures will belong to me. If I lose, the treasures will belong to you. You can do whatever you want with me. Of course, the premise is that you have to give that guy 3 slaps first." Lin Ling suddenly laughed and looked at imperial concubine Shi as he spoke. "It seems that I've taken advantage of you. Not only do I get the treasures, but I also get you." "I, imperial concubine Shi, agree." Hearing this, imperial concubine Shi was stunned. She smiled beautifully, but she also secretly admired Lin Ling's courage. Slap, slap, slap. 3 slaps landed on the 76th prince's face. No one could see imperial concubine Shi's move. They could only see the 76th prince's ugly face as if he had eaten dog shit. 76th prince, how many times have you been slapped? In front of me, Lin Ling, you can only be slapped in the face forever. Chapter 2946. Defeating you is as simple as eating. I'm ready to make my move. At this moment, Lin Ling also spoke. "You're reminding me." Shi Fei was stunned. With her strength, Lin Ling actually reminded her. Even the third princess, Meng Lu, and the others sucked in a breath of cold air. There was no doubt about the strength of the 4 most mysterious people of the 9 heavens of Qing province. Lin Ling was gambling with such an expert, and he actually reminded her. "For fairness." Lin Ling shrugged. However, this sentence was even more shocking. Fairness? He was already at a disadvantage in the gambling with Shi Fei, and he was actually doing it for fairness? At this moment, no one knew what Lin Ling was planning. However, before everyone could recover from their shock, Lin Ling had already made his move. His goal this time was to obtain the treasure in the treasure chest again. And Shi Fei was obviously going to stop him. Shi Fei seemed to be at the 4th level of the martial immortal realm, but she was definitely not as simple as she looked. At this moment, the third princess was worried for Lin Ling because even she did not have the confidence to win against Shi Fei. 20 worlds of speed, amazing. Shi Fei stood there like a flower and did not act rashly. Instead, she was paying attention to Lin Ling's speed. Although Lin Ling's speed was terrifying, it was obviously not enough to enter her eyes. Because she had a speed faster than Lin Ling. "You'll be defeated in 3 breaths, because I'm also going to make my move." Shi Fei's Hongyan mouth moved slightly as she reminded. "Sir Lin Ling, be careful." Hearing this, the third princess was the first to worry for Lin Ling, afraid that Lin Ling would not be able to block a single move from Shi Fei. So strong, is this the most terrifying and mysterious genius of Qin province? Meng Lu felt a rolling pressure. He found that on the other side of the tombstone, the heaven and earth were frozen, forming a mysterious domain. This seemed to be the ultimate martial Dao, and it was a complete Dao. At this moment, Shi Fei made her move. Her soft and boneless palm gently slapped out. The sun, moon, stars, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, the great Tao of the universe seemed to be shattered by her. Above the power of the universe, the rank of bravery. The third princess exclaimed. The power of the universe, that was the power of the chaos of the universe. It was extremely terrifying. However, according to legend, there was another power above it. It was the rank power left behind by the title of God. This power. It was from God. It was extremely terrifying and could shatter any power of the universe. One was the universe, and the other was God. From another point of view, the power of one's grade was the result of the fusion of the essence of a martial artist's strength and the power of the universe. For example, the power of the universe. This was the power to control the chaos of the universe. But, there were millions upon millions of chaos powers in the universe. It was impossible for a martial artist to control all of them. This would instead cause them to be less proficient, which was why there were ranks. For example, if Lin Ling were to comprehend a rank, that would be the rank of fire. A light palm landed on Lin Ling's body, and a yellow light appeared on Lin Ling's body. It was brilliant and ancient. Of you. Shi Fei spoke at the same time. Not necessarily. However, Lin Ling's words made Shi Fei's beautiful eyes narrow. With her palm, no one in the late stage of the martial immortal realm could block it. But Lin Ling blocked it. Lin Ling was only at the first stage of the martial immortal realm. How could this be? Then, she found that there was a yellow light on Lin Ling's body. It was extremely ancient and seemed to be condensed by millions of Emperor Qi. Emperor Qi was also a kind of son of heaven's fate. It had the power of the emperor. So you have a secret treasure on you. Shi Fei suddenly thought of something. She kept waving her arms like a blooming flower. Bang! Bang! Palm after palm, mixed with the great Tao of the universe, fell on Lin Ling's body. Your Excellency Lin Ling. That terrifying killing move caused the third princess and the others to shout out loud. However, after shouting, they found that Lin Ling was still safe and sound. Instead, he smiled and said, Shi Fei. The number one beauty in Qingzhou. If you touch me like this, I'll sue you for taking advantage of me. As soon as his voice fell, everyone was flabbergasted. Facing such a terrifying attack from Shi Fei, Lin Ling could still joke. Even Shi Fei clenched her teeth. Even the Azure Emperor did not dare to joke with her, but Lin Ling dared. The effect of the treasure on you is starting to weaken. Let's see how you block it. Shi Fei's eyes became ferocious and she slapped out again. Indeed, the yellow light on Lin Ling's body dimmed. However, just as Shi Fei thought that she could kill Lin Ling this time, Lin Ling suddenly disappeared. That's right, in her eyes, he had mysteriously disappeared. This sudden change stunned Shi Fei. By the time she reacted, Lin Ling was already standing beside the third princess in the distance, holding the essence of the Son of Heaven's fate in his hand and shaking it gently. Sorry, I won again. The third princess was stunned. Meng Lu was stunned. Even the 76th prince was the same. Lin Ling won. How did he win? Shi Fei seemed to be in a daze as she stared at Lin Ling. Especially the Son of Heaven's fate in Lin Ling's hand, it was swaying as if it was mocking her. Sorry, beating you is really as easy as eating. While she was in a daze, Lin Ling spoke faintly. In fact, in order to avoid Shi Fei's last attack, Lin Ling had used the green jade token and increased his speed by 50 boundaries. Shi Fei naturally could not react to this sudden burst of speed. Eating is as easy as eating. Hearing Lin Ling's casual words, Shi Fei almost went hysterical. She no longer looked like the #1 beauty in Qingzhou. She was one of the 9 heavens of Qingzhou, someone that even the Azure Emperor did not dare to underestimate. She had actually lost to Lin Ling. Most importantly, he had said that beating her was as easy as eating. Third princess, go and collect the treasures. At this moment, Lin Ling spoke again. Lin Ling, tell me, how did you avoid my attack just now? With your strength, it's absolutely impossible. Shi Fei did not stop the third princess but looked at Lin Ling. She really could not figure it out. I really don't want to talk about such a simple thing again. However, Lin Ling shook his head faintly. His words almost made Shi Fei vomit blood. Her beautiful eyes were full of murderous intent. All right, the bet is over. Goodbye. Lin Ling spoke casually when he saw that the third princess had collected all the treasures. You want to leave? The 76th prince immediately roared. Lin Ling had taken advantage of all of them. Did he really think he could leave just like that? Shi Fei was even more unlikely to let Lin Ling leave. Her eyes became extremely cold. If I, Lin Ling, want to leave, no one can stop me. However, Lin Ling had already strode forward, fearless and fearless. At the same time, the sound of a dragon's roar came from the sky. Countless ancient dragons swept across the land, causing the entire dragon palace to shake. This sudden change caused everyone's expression to change drastically. Dragon Soul. They had discovered this taboo after entering the resuscitating dragon palace. There seemed to be many dragon souls in this dragon palace. They could not be destroyed unless they were killed. And this time, the number of dragon souls was clearly much more than what they had seen in the past. Even Shi Fei's pretty face was extremely serious. Without waiting for the dragon souls to fly down from the sky, she had already left the place. Chapter 2947. The Power of Rank. Who was Shi Fei? She was someone who had talked to Qing Di before. With her strength, she was the strongest person present. Only the leader of the giants in Qing province could fight against her. Originally, all the treasures should have belonged to her and Lin Ling should have been killed by her. However, she didn't do anything and could only watch as Lin Ling returned with a full load. Most importantly, after Lin Ling defeated her, he didn't show any joy or excitement. His reaction was very calm, as if defeating her, Shi Fei, was actually a very simple matter. Lin Ling, you're lucky this time. Next time, I'll definitely kill you. Kill. Holding endless resentment, Shi Fei also disappeared from the main road. She came to kill Lin Ling because she was ordered to do so by some expert. At that moment, Lin Ling also sped up because he had noticed the changes in the sky from the very beginning. This made him guess that in the Dragon Palace, the world essence that erupted from the battle between cultivators could alarm the dragon souls. Moreover, the deeper he went, the more dragon souls there were. Thinking of that, he turned around and saw that the third princess and the others had caught up. There were many people at the intersection earlier. The third princess and the others had used those people to attract the dragon souls and escaped. Your Excellency Lin Ling. Looking back, the third princess and the others still had lingering fear in their hearts. Then, they looked at Lin Ling and smiled. I didn't expect Lin Ling to be able to defeat Shi Fei. Truly amazing. Lord 8th said excitedly. The current Lin Ling was probably even stronger than him. Although he was a middle-stage martial immortal, in terms of talent and ultimate martial path, he wasn't very strong. The reason why he could become one of the giants in Qing province was because of his enormous world essence. In terms of world essence, Lin Ling was obviously not afraid of middle-stage martial immortals. In fact, he was one of the best among them. This made Lord 8th sigh. The first time he saw Lin Ling in the past was at Lin Ling's market. At that time, Lin Ling was still very young, but now, his wings were full. With just a move of his feet in Qing province would change. I didn't expect the four most mysterious people of the 9 heavens of Qing province to be so powerful. Meng Lu, on the other hand, was recalling the scene of Shi Fei's attack. His expression was solemn as he said, "Rank. This is the fusion of the power of the universe and one's innate talent. There are no more than 5 people in Qing province who have grasped this power, and Shi Fei is the youngest one." "That's right. I've seen Shi Fei before. She gave me a very mysterious feeling. I didn't expect her to have the power of a rank." The third princess also said. "From what I see, she's only powerful in terms of rank strength. Her talent isn't even at the desolate body level. If you can sense rank strength, she's only a so-so." Lin Ling said with a smile. What he said was very simple. However, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They didn't think it was simple because rank strength was the foundation of fighting those of a higher level. Shi Fei might even be able to defeat an ordinary 9th stage martial immortal. Rank strength isn't as mysterious as you say. In the 9 provinces, there are many people who possess this power. Lin Ling recalled Li Xiaoyao's time. At that time, he had swept through the geniuses of the 9 provinces and was called the most mysterious genius in the universe by the 9 provinces. Therefore, he didn't think that possessing rank strength was that amazing. He, Lin Ling, had only cultivated for a short period of time. If he was given some more time, he would also be able to comprehend the rank of the fire element. Furthermore, he was still very weak in the past. After reaching the martial immortal realm, the arrogance of Li Xiaoyao of the past had quietly awakened. Wake Dragon Palace, we can only move forward and not retreat. That's because retreating will attract even more dragon souls. Everyone, let's continue forward. Third princess, take out the treasures you obtained earlier. I, Lin Ling, want to be the first to choose. Lin Ling looked at the third princess and said. The third princess smiled and nodded, Your Excellency Lin Ling, these treasures were obtained by you alone. There's no problem for you to take all of them. There's no need for that. After all, not all treasures are useful to me. For example, the Son of Heaven's mandate. Lin Ling waved his hand and said, Third princess, you've obtained quite a few Son of Heaven's mandates. Perhaps, the Imperial Jade Seal fragments that you possess will also change. Furthermore, in this trip to the Wake Dragon Palace, there are definitely quite a few people who have obtained great fortune. After everyone leaves, the Azure Province will definitely be in turmoil. Your Excellency Lin Ling, you're right. Hearing that, the third princess's expression became serious. There were so many paths to the Wake Dragon Palace. The others must have also obtained great treasures. Perhaps, a new 9 great heavens would be born. However, the Wake Dragon Palace is also the end. With everyone's strength, I'm afraid that we won't be able to enter the 5th level of the 8 gods' heavenly palace. Lin Ling said again. Is this the end of our journey? Regarding this, Meng Lu and the others were somewhat dissatisfied. However, they were extremely confident in Lin Ling's words. Therefore, they could only give up on exploring. As for Lin Ling, he was searching for treasures. Unfortunately, although there were many treasures here, they were not of much help to Lin Ling. They could not even compare to the 3 jade tokens from before. Unfortunately, there was only 1 jade token left. I want the royal crystals. You can divide the rest among yourselves. In the end, Lin Ling collected all the royal crystals and planned to use them to break through to the next level. Your Excellency Lin Ling, we've also obtained many treasures along the way. The royal crystals are all yours. The third princess pondered for a moment and hurriedly took out a large number of royal crystals. The others also understood that since they had divided all the treasures, they would definitely hand over their own royal crystals. They would treat it as using royal crystals to purchase those treasures. Thank you so much. Seeing a large number of royal crystals appear, Lin Ling could not help but be overjoyed. Next, the group continued on their journey. Along the way, Lin Ling said, "Soon, there will be a crossroad. I will guide you to which path to take. There are also countless treasures there. However, I will have to part ways with you. Second brother, you're going to take another path." Hearing this, Sakura frowned and asked worriedly. "Big brother, don't worry. The path I'm going to is the most mysterious place in Resuscitate Dragon Palace. The place you're going to has great fortune and countless treasures. The lowest grade is an extreme weapon. There may even be the Emperor's life essence or even the talents from the era of deities." Lin Ling patted Sakura's shoulder and said. Hearing this, the group was tempted. For Lin Ling to regard such treasures as treasures, they would definitely be extraordinary. Along the way, everyone was talking and laughing. Compared to the other giants who were nervous, they were obviously more relaxed. The reason was that Lin Ling was there. "Save me, save me. There are many dragon souls in front." Not knowing how long they had been walking, an anxious shout suddenly came from the front. It was 3 good-looking ladies. They were wearing clothes of different colors and looked very charming. These women were not weak at all. They must be the magnates of the various forces. While they were running in front, behind them was billowing murderous aura. Several blood dragons were rolling in the air. It was extremely terrifying. Seeing this, Lin Ling frowned. The eyes of the third princess and the others were flickering. Sakura pondered for a moment and shouted, "Hurry up, it will be too late." Chapter 2948. The Power of a Glance. Sakura had a tyrannical personality and was decisive in killing, but he never bullied the weak. When he saw someone who wasn't strong enough, he would definitely draw his blade to help. "Thank you. Thank you." Those few women couldn't help but be overjoyed, and their speed also increased by a bit. Sakura passed by them and transformed into a huge white skeleton to fight against the dragon souls in the sky. "Sakura, I'll help you." Seeing this, Lord 8 and Meng Lu also joined the battlefield, erupting with all their strength to resist the several blood dragons in the sky. And these dragon souls were extremely powerful, not fearing any realm essence attacks. If they wanted to resist, they could only resist with their lives. Fortunately, we met them, otherwise we're dead for sure. These dragon souls are too terrifying, we can't kill them at all. Stop the dragon souls, don't let them come over. And seeing Sakura and the rest desperately block the dragon souls, the beautiful woman in the upper position also slowed down. While recovering her realm essence, she kept saying, "Ka ka ka." Sakura was blocking the dragon soul at the forefront. His white skeleton was also cracked from the impact, but he was still blocking the front of the road like a war god. As for Meng Lu and Lord 8, their faces also started to pale, resisting with great difficulty. "Stop the dragon souls, who told you to retreat step by step. If the dragon souls come over, we'll all die." Seeing Sakura and the rest constantly retreating, the 3 women all frowned and said, "What trash." One of the women even cursed softly. Although this voice was soft, it was clearly heard by Lin Ling, and his face immediately became ugly. His big brother tried his best to help others, but not only were these 3 women not grateful, they even despised Sakura for being trash. Could it be that his big brother owed them? "Big brother, ignore those dragon souls, come over immediately." Lin Ling's eyes turned cold as he shouted to the front. "What are you doing? If they retreat, those dragon souls will rush over." Hearing Lin Ling's words, one of the tall women immediately reprimanded. "If they don't retreat, they'll be in danger." Killing intent appeared in the depths of Lin Ling's eyes as he coldly replied. "Facing the dragon soul is dangerous to begin with. Do you think Awakening Dragon Palace is your home? If you want to be safe, you can just hide at home. Why do you have to come out and roam the world? Moreover, in a martial artist's life, they have to cut through all kinds of hardships. If they fear danger, what is the point of talking about martial arts? If they retire, are they still men? She looked at Lin Ling mockingly and said, I can see that you are also a man. Unfortunately, they are much more courageous than you. You only dare to hide behind them and gossip. How ugly. What nonsense are you talking about? As soon as the woman finished speaking, the third princess couldn't help but speak up. These three women were too self-righteous. Obviously, they were the ones who provoked the dragon soul, but now they were blaming it on Sakura. He was kind enough to help, but the three of them actually disliked him. Could it be that Sakura must help them? You are third princess. Only then did the three women realize that the person beside them was the third princess. Their expressions changed slightly. Then, they smiled because they knew that the third princess, the daughter of Emperor Qing, was extremely powerful. Third princess, it's good that you're here. Please block those dragon souls. Those three men are too useless. They're completely useless. No need, I'll do it. But at this moment, Lin Ling coldly spat out a sentence. You're too weak. However, the three women didn't put Lin Ling in their eyes at all. Their words were filled with disdain. Don't underestimate him. He's Lin Ling of the imperial court. The third princess didn't want Lin Ling to be looked down upon, so she spoke coldly. Her words stunned the three women on the spot. Then, they laughed. Lin Ling of the 9 heavens of Qingzhou. So you're Lin Ling. That's great. With you around, there will definitely be a way. They didn't expect to meet these legendary powerhouses at the end of their road. One of the petite women even said happily, Lin Ling, among the 9 heavens of Qingzhou, I admire you the most. Hearing those words, Lin Ling sneered. He didn't say anything and stepped forward. Big brother, 8th Lord, Meng Lu, step back. I'll block these dragon souls. His voice floated out, causing Sakura and the others to frown. They seemed to be worried about Lin Ling fighting the blood dragons alone. Don't you believe me? Seeing Sakura and the others, Lin Ling's heart warmed. Sure enough, his own people were still trustworthy. Alright, second brother, be careful. Lin Ling, if you can't block them, we'll immediately come to help. Now, let's recover our Jia Yuan. Sakura and Meng Lu pondered for a moment and spoke one after another. Right now, they were indeed exhausted. The three of them hurriedly retreated, allowing Lin Ling to block the blood dragons in the sky alone. Wake up Dragon Palace, is the dragon god here? Lin Ling walked past Sakura and the others. His blue robe fluttered, his hands behind his back, and he looked indifferently at the huge blood dragons in the sky. Roar! The blood dragons in the sky didn't answer his words. Instead, they roared continuously, causing the sound of thunder to come from afar. The wind and clouds rolled, and the aura of destruction came like a wave. More and more blood dragons rushed over, hovering in the sky as if they wanted to devour everything. Seeing this scene, everyone's expression changed drastically. There were actually more dragon souls. Why is it like this? Lin Ling must have attracted more dragon souls. I've long felt that we shouldn't trust Lin Ling. He can't fight against the dragon souls at all. Yeah, he wants us to be buried with him. I don't want to die here. The three women were also shocked and almost wanted to escape. However, there were too many dragon souls in the sky. They didn't want to be noticed by the dragon souls, so they didn't dare to act rashly for the time being. However, if the dragon souls swooped down from the sky, they would definitely be the first to escape and let the third princess and the others attract the dragon soul's attention. For a moment, they looked at each other and tacitly had the same idea. Lin Ling, be careful. Everyone go help him. The third princess didn't know what they were thinking at all. At this moment, she was worried and shouted. Sakura and the others had just sat down cross-legged to recover. At this moment, they stood up again and prepared to help Lin Ling. However, at this moment, Lin Ling's cold pupils finally changed. A powerful soul force spread out like an ocean. At this moment, he seemed to have transformed into a dragon god, with an imposing aura that looked down on the world. Die! Everyone heard that calm voice. Bang bang bang. In the sky, the rolling dragon souls began to explode. One by one, the ancient dragons exploded. Blood light illuminated the sky, then turned into dust and scattered from the sky. All the dragon souls were annihilated. This was just the power of a gaze. At the back, the third princess and the others maintained their charging posture, but at this moment, they all stopped in their tracks, their faces were filled with horror. Chapter 29-49. An ant should have the awareness of an ant. Dragon Soul. It was the taboo of the Resuscitate Dragon Palace. Even the leader of the magnates would not dare to fight it head-on. However, Lin Ling killed it with a single blow. This was too perverted. These dragon souls are actually the descendants of the Resuscitate Dragon God. They were buried here with him. Although the dragon's body is dead, the dragon's soul is still here. With the help of the mysterious star plants, the dragon's soul is nourished. They are also the tomb keepers of the Dragon Palace. Under everyone's shocked gaze, Lin Ling walked back calmly and said, "The only thing they are afraid of is soul power." "Master, you are so powerful." Hearing this, the third princess's eyes were filled with admiration. Among the four magnates, only Lin Ling was the calmest. "I have said that I have no intention of accepting you as my disciple," Lin Ling said with a smile. However, his gaze was extremely cold as he looked at the three ladies. "Lin Ling, thank you, thank you." The three ladies did not know that death was upon them. They were still rejoicing that they had escaped death. "No need. If you want to thank someone, thank King Yenluo." Lin Ling's lips curled into a cold smile. He extended his right hand and flicked his finger. A wisp of flame shot out like an arrow and landed on one of the ladies, burning her. "Lin Ling, what are you doing?" The lady immediately cried out in pain. Unfortunately, she could not withstand Lin Ling's blow and was burned alive. The other two ladies' faces changed and were filled with anger. The three of them had roamed the 10,000 worlds and were very close to each other. However, the eldest sister died here. "Because you wanted to kill my brothers and friends," Lin Ling said coldly. The two ladies clenched their teeth and their eyes were filled with killing intent. "I know that you want to kill me, but you don't have the strength to do so. Also, my big brother and the others don't owe you anything. They helped you, so you should be grateful. Don't blame them and even plan to push the trouble to others. I hate people like this the most. So, I can help you deal with the dragon soul, but you all have to die." Plop. Hearing Lin Ling's words, the two women were completely terrified and hurriedly knelt down. "Lord Lin Ling, please spare our lives. We are willing to be your slaves and serve you for the rest of our lives." Their beauty was not bad, and coupled with their strength, they were already used to others sacrificing their lives for them. They even thought that all of this was a matter of course. However, when they met Lin Ling didn't care about their beauty at all. He only treated them like ants. As for helping an ant, Lin Ling wouldn't care if it was as easy as lifting a finger. However, an ant must have the awareness of an ant. "Second brother, they are just weak girls. How about sparing their lives?" Sakura was soft-hearted and couldn't help but say. "Big brother, some people are worth helping. Even if we use our lives to help, we won't regret it. However, some people aren't worth it. If all of you had died in the mouth of the dragon soul, would they have sympathized with you? I guess not. They only have themselves in their eyes, as if it's a matter of course for others to help. Lin Ling looked at Sakura and said. Although his big brother was decisive in killing, his temperament was too straightforward. To put it bluntly, he was also ignorant. But Sakura looked at the two women who were crying, and his heart still softened. Don't worry. You can't do it, but I can. In my eyes, it's fine as long as all of you are fine. Lin Ling shook his head. He knew that it was time for him to be the villain. In the future, if he, Lin Ling, wanted to kill someone, but he couldn't do it. He believed that his brother would also help him. The world of martial arts is cruel. No one owes anyone anything. When others help you, you should be grateful. Don't think that you are infallible. Because, you are just ants. Lin Ling looked at the two women again. With a flick of his finger, surging flames shot out. Lord Lin Ling, please spare our lives. Sorry. We were wrong. Yes. The two women kept crying for help, but they were still mercilessly burned by the flames of time and space. In the end, they were turned into ashes. What you don't dare to do, I, Lin Ling, will do for you. But if I die in someone's hands in the future, I also hope that you can be like me today and do those things for me. Yes. After Lin Ling obliterated the two women, he turned around and strode forward. Hearing that, the third princess and the others felt ripples in their hearts. They knew that in Lin Ling's heart, only his family and friends were everything. What did the masses have to do with him? And for his family and friends, he dared to kill his way up to the 9 heavens. Even if the world called him a demon, he didn't care. Master, wait for me. Yes. Looking at the slender figure, the third princess immediately chased after him. Her heart was somewhat moved. No wonder Grandma Wendao was full of praise for Lin Ling. Because Lin Ling was indeed a friend worthy of deep friendship. The group continued forward and finally reached the crossroads. Lin Ling pointed out the path in front of them. Then, he walked on another path. Lin Ling, we'll wait for you in Qingzhou. Come back as soon as possible. Looking at Lin Ling's disappearing figure, the third princess and the others waved their hands and said. Don't worry, I'll be back. An indistinct voice could be heard from the misty road. Everyone nodded and chose a small path one after another, slowly walking forward. The path that Lin Ling took was obviously different. It was the main path to the main tomb. This path was undoubtedly extremely dangerous. But the benefits were also the greatest in the entire Wake-Up Dragon Palace. Because, there were Dragon God Vitality pills here. Once this treasure was taken by Lin Ling, Lin Ling's fourth Dantian would also have a talent, and it was the Dragon God talent. Going straight to the main tomb, this path must be extraordinary. Little Kunlun, prepare for a fierce battle. Lin Ling's long robe was fluttering, and his eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Ka ka ka. After walking for an unknown period of time, the ground in front of them began to wriggle like a snake. Lin Ling was walking on the snake's body. What a strong vibration force. Sensing this, Lin Ling leaped up and exploded with his full speed. He shot forward at the speed of 20 worlds. At the same time, he realized that he was actually walking on the spine of a dragon. It was just a dead dragon. It was extremely magical. Ka ka ka. But the further he went, the ground began to rumble. Soil was splattered everywhere. Then, white skeletons crawled out. These skeletons were the skeletons in the sacrificial trench. When they were alive, they were indomitable experts. This path is indeed extraordinary. Lin Ling's expression became more serious as he roared. The realm-swallowing beast appeared and turned into a ferocious fist, attacking ahead. Rumble. Under that fist, a few white skeletons were smashed to pieces. But what surprised Lin Ling was that the pieces gathered again and turned into white skeletons. They were actually immortal and indestructible. These white skeletons were probably experts in the half-step saint realm when they were alive. Lin Ling was shocked, but his fighting spirit was even more intense. Again. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.